The selling resumes back to the downside here this morning in a pretty big way for futures for individual names on the back of this address from U.S. President Donald Trump late last night, where there was really no clarity whatsoever. Not only was there no clarity on a timeline for a potential end to the conflict in the Middle East, he seemed to even double down on some key talking points around the tough stance the U.S. continues to take in the Middle East. So that's the S&P 500 right now, just making a fresh low on the morning. NASDAQ looking about the same. Fresh lows coming into play right now. Oil to the upside in a huge way this morning. When I sat down, it was 7. We touched 9% to the upside right across the board. So energy names back in play. Everything else pretty much under pressure right now, including one that we were talking about yesterday on this desk quite heavily. Nike's below $44 this morning, which is a pretty impressive move to the downside after we were sitting here yesterday morning in the pre-market. At this time, it was 48 bucks. So just unbelievable selling in that stock on the back of this earnings report. I mean, a whole bunch of other individual names to talk about this morning. Tesla, one of those. Decent numbers coming out of China. We'll get into that. More news on Intel. Individual stories, however, going to be in the back seat, I fear, today throughout this entire session, with all things global and macro on the minds of everyone. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. Donald Trump stating last night, if you need oil coming from the Strait of Hormuz, it's best that you diversify and buy oil from the United States. So essentially,
what a sales
pitch. Yeah, a sales pitch there from Donald. He says he has the most oil. He has more oil than the Gulf countries and Russia combined. So a sales pitch coming from Donald Trump last night in Blue Ocean. Brenda, watching USO climb higher and the overall market start to slide.
Yeah, we'll have to pull out those numbers when they come out on the internal site here today and see how everyone did overnight. I'm sure there was tons of opportunity. I mean, what a difference a day makes here, guys. It's been 24 hours, but I mean, we were so positive not only yesterday but the past 2 days on the potential for this thing getting some sort of conclusion sooner than later. I mean, I feel like that's completely out the window at this point.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not good. It could be worse. Not that much. I mean, we had that 3% update the other day, and it was like obviously I was feeling pretty good about it, and we've given a lot of that move back. And the worst part about it, I would say, would be, it's not the worst part about it, but one of the things, it's like we were dragging everything down. And we're in a situation where, gold's not a safe haven because the U.S. dollar is the dollar index is rising every time we have a spike in energy prices. So this will be down 3.5, and you got SLV down 6 points. You sort of look back to we had that nice rally a couple of days ago. When I say it could be worse, we're not all the way back down there. But then you throw in the factor of it, oh, wow, now it's a long weekend. And you tend to see a little bit more fear and risk off going into a long weekend, especially when one headline can drive you one way or the other. So we're not off to a good start, and we are expecting to get some Tesla delivery numbers at some point today. I don't know how much that's going to matter. Like, Intel was a beast, and it is a small positive catalyst, and that doesn't seem to matter. And then, of course, you go ahead and mention what on most days would be considered. Well, if we're going to be talking about how weak and poor things are looking, like on most days, we'd be mentioning Nike. But Nike down 2 points doesn't seem so bad right now, given what else we're looking at, because oil through the roof.
Right here, up 9.5%. Wow. I said yesterday, remember I went through it all, and I was like, look, if this is not the market for you, then sell. And you would have had great opportunity to do that. And we talked about raising some cash yesterday as well, if this was something that you're interested in and you couldn't sort of withstand some of that pain. April Fool's joke on everybody yesterday as the market continued its rally, as Brendan just mentioned. And then today, boom, not much confidence given by Donald Trump that this is going to be a war that ends anytime soon. So you have market down, oil rocking up. I just typed in USO to figure out some levels that I liked. And I was like, what in the hell? This is $136? obviously I can, you think about the math, up 10%, fine, but it's like, wow. I was thinking like we were always looking at, shorting 125 or, whatever these prices are. And then now today we're in another orbit all the way up here as well as yesterday. And again, remember, like we went through the list yesterday and everything was down, 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 down in the energy space. And today up, 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 up away as we go again for XOM, up another 3% here today. After, there it is. There's your chance to diversify. Hope you took it. It was one day. You're able to buy some oil yesterday and get some of that into your account. And there it goes upside right now for XOM. And Bitcoin getting shit canned as well today, down to 66,000. So that continues to be a problem there as global supply of everything. If you're holding on to something right now, it's probably worth a little less. So Bitcoin down. You got gold in your pocket right now. I don't. And there it is right there. That's going to be down a little bit, I thought, earlier. Yeah. Okay, we're getting zeros on our number here. There it is, now down 3%, of course. So there's the move down. You already touched on silver. Yeah, everything getting hit here. I like Apple maybe if we're going to buy something today. We saw Apple really strong there at the end of the day where we had that long at 254. It ripped up into 256 and change. We saw us trading that yesterday. Maybe something on Apple today if we're looking longs down into 250 if that does print. But for me, I'm just going dead red today again, man. Risk off. That's definitely worked out for me the last couple of weeks, just trying to play this market sentiment. And today it's red, right? I mean, the NASDAQ just continues to make those moves lower. And even if you can look at the NASDAQ to SPY, I mean, they're all the same. Now, ES right now down 1.6, while NASDAQ's down 2. Actually, that's much more aggressive. That's just starting to heat up even more as we speak right here. But yeah, there's that little 2-day rally that everybody was excited about, and for good reason, right? I mean, the markets are going to have, in bear markets and in downside pushes like this, you are going to get a good rebound every once in a while, right? And so that's just a whipsaw action of the market. So I don't think we need to get too worried until we actually break down below even where we were yesterday or a couple of days ago. We've broken down below yesterday, but 2 days ago's low here in the Qs is 560. So let's see if we can get into that level. That's still a minute away, right? So we still have a little ways to go before we get back into some of those lows again. But yeah, not great. I didn't look at Robinhood yet, but I don't know if I want to. Okay, 66, not so bad. SoFi was hanging around 15 yesterday, so it's there again today. Actually, it's a lot lower today. It was 15.50 yesterday. SoFi down another 3% today. Holy Nikes. This just keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. So I'm not sure where we're going to be running today if you're looking for longs, man. I think it's going to be like a really, really big risk-off kind of day. I mean, if you were looking at an Occidental or XLE maybe for an ETF, that could get going at some point. But all these names right back up to the high side once again. And then NVIDIA wants to hold this 170, I feel like. Obviously, we've dipped down below it. In those last couple of days, but we made a nice move back up into 177. I think that names like NVIDIA, names like Apple, and even Google ran past $300 yesterday. Like, they show their strength when the market agrees with them. So these are the right, I think Joe even might have said it yesterday. It was, or I'm not sure who was talking about it, but it was just like, they're so fun to trade on the way up and on the way down. They have that same experience. So it's just kind of like, as you look at some of these major mega cap names, I think this is the best place to be, because when we do get that rally, you're going to see these names absolutely rip up. But at the same time, it is tough to come in every morning and see, what does Wednesday look like? What does Thursday look like? And today, with it being a low week, a light week, we're not in tomorrow on Good Friday, definitely.
You're not in tomorrow?
I'm not in tomorrow, yeah. I mean, I'll probably come in. I have to come in and do my taxes, right, Joe? I'll be in Brampton tomorrow.
Have you not started your taxes?
No, I haven't started them yet. I'll be in Brampton tomorrow. We have it's a start of a tournament tomorrow.
Nice.
So, yeah, 7 more games left in the season, and then we start immediately on the new season. But yeah, anyways, there's NVIDIA to the downside. So yeah, I got to be careful with what we're doing here today. The only thing I've written down right now is the futures, and we're going short. So. But yeah, congratulations to the Artemis launch. I guess they're orbited now, and that seems to be another step for humanity again. So that was a nice move to the north side there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, I don't know if you
stock market going down, we're going up.
It kind of sucks because it was at least. I mean, you had SpaceX. The IPO file was yesterday. You had Rocket Labs and ASTS have both been strong. Yeah. Like there was a world in which a successful launch could have actually mattered to this group today, but let's be real. Nothing's up. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like Rocket Lab's going to be down 5% here. ASTS is going to be down. You got good, and you even have this global star news with Amazon considering considering, I think, buying them, which it gets a little complicated because just like a year and a half ago, Apple invested in them pretty heavily and got a 20% stake. So, there's a competitive aspect there. But if this were to get closed, it's another boost for some of these space names. And you'd really think, it kind of sucks because if there was one thing that looked like, okay, the space names they got some catalyst here, should be some decent longs. It just doesn't really matter in here today. That said, GSAT, if you're looking for something that's energy that is breaking out, that's not energy that is breaking out, this is pretty much it for today, at least that I could find. It's not a tremendous amount of volume, but when you start talking about a potential deal here with Amazon, then I think you get sometimes a bit of a shelf. So this one, it's got a 75 prior high. If we really tank in there, like there's that plus the gap range to yesterday where I could see maybe some mean reversion, but you got to prove to me that you can catch a bid. Like when the launch happened, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have Rocket Lab on my list again, and this and that, and.
But I mean, why would that really be affecting on? Yeah, I don't know.
It's sentiment. It's just everything's down sentiment. To me, it's just a sentiment thing, and you're dragging everything down with you. GSAT has the positive catalyst today, so at least it stands out.
All right, there was an email issue this morning, guys. We're well aware. I've seen all the emails. Thank you. We're well aware. The email platform that we use had a bit of an issue this morning. We've sent an update. You will get another one, so we apologize for any confusion, but that was the template, unfortunately, that got sent out this morning. Lots of NVIDIA on that watch list, that's for damn sure. Market continuing to slide to the downside here this morning. Again, there hasn't been, I sat down here 20 minutes ago, and there hasn't been any real comments or additional headlines coming out to, aid in this narrative this morning whatsoever. You have a few options ideas already this morning. Anything standing out to you that's a little bit scary looking at this point?
Well, not at this point. It's just crazy from some of the price action that we've seen yesterday and how headline sensitive the market is that we have a couple contracts here, Brendo, that we'll go over momentarily, just not this second, but it's the continuous climb, and then you have a headline drop, and then the gains that what you had throughout the intraday session are gone in a matter of minutes, right? And it's just like tank, you grind all day, and then 10, 15 minutes later, they say, oh, we're not anywhere close to having any form of a deal, and you give up the majority of the gains. And we're gonna go over a couple of those examples here momentarily. We can kick things off with Google actually asked us, as I scroll, and this is gonna be a prime example of essentially what happened yesterday. So this contract was actually documented on Tuesday evening. And we'll run through this relatively quickly here, but we can see that these contract values are around $8.90 and $8.10 respectively on the bid. But one day later, and a couple of hours within the session, Brendo, you can see that these contracts value essentially double in the span of an hour and a half. Now, Google only climbed 4%, but this is where you can also see the attractiveness of essentially trading options, is people are looking for these hefty returns and quick amounts of time, but they also dwindle equally as quick as well, considering we just had that drop. So a double in the span of a couple of hours, but then the majority of it lost on some selling.
I was thinking about this morning when I came in and saw where the market was, but I was reading an article, I guess it was the end of 2 days ago, not yesterday, but 2 days ago, right at the close. It was record inflows in one of the inverse oil ETFs. It was essentially saying everyone was piling into this, effectively a short position on oil. This was at the close 2 days ago. Yesterday would have worked pretty well, but here, as to your point, you come in this morning, it's just ripping in your face.
And there's nothing you can do about it, right? Especially if there's no overnight trading. If you're locked into some of these contracts, regardless of what happens overnight in the blue ocean, you have to wake up and you have to stomach it until 9:30 in the morning.
On that, just pulled up the VIX here just to see where we're at. We're back to 27.80, I guess, $28 almost on the VIX. Yesterday we went out around $24. So, you know, just a measly 13, 14% move here, guys, overnight on the VIX.
Well, to be real, I thought we might have woken up to 30. So it's actually maybe not even as bad.
You were mentioning limit down yesterday. You were scaring the shit.
No. That was if out of nowhere it was like surprise landing of troops, like something that was so. Which this is not. That's not it. And I think it would have taken something like that and to have the discussions of the limit down. I don't think that would happen. But I am surprised is the wrong word. Like I could have seen us back up in the 30 range, right? And this should be something to watch. Like if we weren't to see the VIX creep up into the 30s, what would that actually mean for us? I don't think it would. Like it'd be hard to break the week's lows or get that bad. Let's just say if no one's really pricing in that we're going to make a new fresh high in the VIX. So it's worth keeping an eye on. I'll certainly keep an eye on it. And just talking about another thing that's like doggish. Oh, Bitcoin, man. Like this had its own problems because even in the rally, we've been talking about like the technicals on BTC and this secondary breakdown. If history repeats itself here, it could get nasty. And there's our trend on the daily for Bitcoin, and there's our consolidation as it tries to hold after that little trend break. Same thing happening here, and you've got the flat bottom at 65 now. Yikes. That's all I can say. So I think that's another one I'll be looking pop and fade. But yeah, I mean, you could always say that it could be worse here. So we're down 2%, and in that situation, I would have expected a little bit higher. You know, if we actually pop through, like some of these levels are pretty defined here in the VIX. Like the 28 level has been mostly resistance, and the only time we press through, well, we all know, you know, kind of how bad it was earlier in the week, right? Like when we were pressing through, it's because we were pretty much down at those lows. Like we were looking at 23.2 on the NQ. So if we actually get back to 30, you could see us all the way down there again. But we're not yet. So see, positivity can be positive.
Yeah, I don't. I heard what Joe was talking about there about the options, but I mean, thing is like, if you're going to short oil or long oil or do anything with gold or silver or make any sort of a play heading into a shortened week, heading into that speech from President Trump, especially seeing the bump ups that we've recently had in the stock market. We know the volatility's been there. We just talked about where VIX is at. You know, then you deserve everything that you got. You know, you're in a contract or you're in something, and Joe's like, "Wow, imagine having this happen to you," and you know, you just have to watch it in blue ocean. Yeah, that's right. You don't have to imagine that. That is what's going to happen. It's going to happen every single time. If President speaks next Wednesday night, let's just say, or Tuesday night, just try not to make the same mistake or try to play it a different way. You're going to get volatility. These markets are extremely, extremely volatile. I mean, every day we've come in this week, the NASDAQ over here, I don't think it's had double digits. It's always had like a 2 or a 1. It's never been up or down like 0.5% or something like that. And if it is, it doesn't take long before it starts to ramp up one way or the other. So, yeah, I just think you get the medicine that you need in these markets, and if options is a thing for you, then you know, you sort of live and die by that sword. And remember, every time someone's writing something, someone's got to then write the call or the put, and then someone's also got to buy it from you. So there's that transaction of people understanding what they're doing. Someone's going to have made a lot of money this morning, and someone's going to be down to zero, you know, because some of these calls, I guess, are just going to be absolutely blasting off right now. And if you're writing some of those or, you know, buying puts, you're not doing well today on oil. I'm not sure what we would have thought President Trump. I mean, we left yesterday. I even was talking about the SPY only of being corrected, only down 6 or 7% as of yesterday's correction. And that was a great opportunity to take that 3% bump and get out, right? We had the NASDAQ up 3.25 a couple days ago. Then we had it up another 1.5 yesterday or something. That's like 4% bounce back, you know, in a market that was only down 7%. So, like, it became much more reasonable to get out yesterday. Even a stock like, you know, great stock like Marvell, You know, we saw that go up to 108 yesterday. It's back down today. So, like, right there, you know, you had just a couple awesome days. You know, right back in. So I still think you want to hold close good companies. But if you need to raise cash, I don't even think it's too late even today. But you're going to miss a couple percentage points. That's all. And yeah, heading into the weekend, I'm not sure any of us have any idea what's going to happen, especially on a religious weekend. I don't know if that's going to matter these days, but you know, we'll have to wait to see if something goes on there. Nasdaq back to the 50-period moving average finally.
It's trying. And you know what? If you're an equity trader in these markets looking to scale, then PropShop Trader is a multi-asset proprietary trading firm designed to remove the typical barriers that traders face. You can trade stocks without pattern day trading restrictions and no licensing requirements, while also accessing futures markets within the same environment. PropShop Trader offers both day trading and swing trading programs, giving traders the flexibility to manage multiple accounts and deploy different strategies. Why risk your own capital when you don't have to? Scan the QR code to unlock 60% off your first account, plus buy one and get one free. Get started today. You can scan the QR code as you see on screen right there. Gladiator action. All right, that's what it feels like in these markets. Unfortunately, like if you're in the longs holding overnight, like you were saying, it's a holding overnight. It's what you get. It's like in the original Gladiator when they go in and like the entire battle is. It's like skewed, so they're supposed to lose. It's like, yeah, so the guys are sitting in the middle huddled, and all of a sudden, like, chariots come in surrounding them. It's like, it's stacked against.
Yeah, you got to find your way out. You got to battle out of that.
Yeah, and in the overnight, it feels as if there's far more risk that things are escalating than the other side of things. Unfortunately, that's just the environment we're in. And to the point of the whole, like, I don't know how much this long weekend, I don't know if it matters. Like, you'd like to hope that it would, but I'm not really feeling that way. Oh, the other way I was kind of thinking about this too. Like, there are some other things that are. I mean, they're not up, but like they're not down. Like if you look at like a Lockheed, like it's flat. I know that's not exciting and.
It's very exciting to be flat.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose that's where we're at here. Like Raytheon's up, 1.5 points. So there's some bounce in some of the defense names, which look okay. So you can look at ETF there. These are getting back on the schneid. Like Raytheon, trying to get back above the 50-period moving average, maybe like break the $200 level. Not a ton of pre-market volume, but there's another side to this coin where outside of energy, you're finding some kernels of strength. But yeah, they're not looking too good whatsoever. And you had so many things that were you already mentioned Marvell. Like remember, like Intel was a rocket yesterday. And it wasn't just it was a rocket, like it held this flag and it held support all afternoon. This was set up today to be like a potential breakthrough. They have a small catalyst and positive story today to follow up yesterday's. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter this market. Sentiment completely changed. And if you lost like any of your big support, that kind of stuff turns into some resistance here. So that is what it is. Let's get some super chats up here. We got a couple in, so we can throw them up there. Andre, when we get it.
He's going to get them up.
It's JKL. Hey.
Oh, this guy.
It's the Beach Report. We got to have the Beach Report.
You got to.
Out of long oil.
Out of long oil. Okay. Bang.
That'll play. And back into long silver. Trades will remain shorter due to volatility, which makes sense. Head on a swivel. That's how it should be as well. Easter weekend. Happy Easter weekend. So happy Easter weekend.
When you go like one way, like one day that super chat means something, the next day it doesn't. Like that's the awesome thing about that long oil trade. I mean, you took that long oil up 10%, so get out of that one. Switch over into silver. Silver down 6%. So you're kind of playing the sort of game of potentially being some sort of a recovery, maybe getting out of the long and out of the long oil into the long silver. So I guess you're probably thinking of a potential recovery day today for the market. I don't know. I'm still thinking short silver. I need some advice. I bought a massive number of call options on UVXY. Okay, well that's good then. Wow. All right. As soon as I read call options, like okay, well that's gonna be a problem.
Okay, well.
All right. At 52, I don't know what is UVXY.
55.
Yeah. Okay. So get out. When it dipped, should I set a limit order before open and pray? Pray for what? I think you're fine. You know, I think the last part there, I mean, we're not going to, it's going to be your trade, right? We had somebody on here with Coinbase a couple of days ago or last week or whatever asked us about Coinbase, and it was up in the money. So I think always, you said it at the end there, too long makes me nervous. Well, then I think you're answering your own question about what you think you want to do there at the open.
Then you want to bank. If you're nervous in the money, then it's never the worst thing to just bank.
No, I mean, I was nervous yesterday about that Apple trade. I got out, then it ripped up another $1. You know, so it's like you got to make your decisions. And I think if you are excited about the market volatility, you're in the right thing with UVXY. I mean, obviously a part of the VIX, but if you're going to look here, the Nasdaq is trying to rally back a little bit right now. So because you're in options, and this is another thing that Joe had mentioned there, you're gonna have to wait for them to start to trade. So once they do, there's going to be a premium associated with that. So it's just because the market is 1.9% here. You just showed, oops, I got to mute this and go UVXY. There it is. So we don't have the proper VIX here, but we do have UVXY. So you're going to see this was up to 56.50 or so, back into 55.50. So you're going to be patient with it, I think. Putting a limit, maybe I can go back over to Joe. I don't know how that works. If you just put a limit order way down, if you're just going to get filled at the best bid. Like I feel like there's going to be a big potential spread maybe in UVXY to start the day. I mean, I'm not sure where this market's going to open, and nor am I familiar with what the spread looks like on UVXY calls and or puts. So, but I just feel like today, if too long is making you nervous on those, then I would say, exit out of a little bit and, hold the rest. And I didn't even catch the expiry there. If they're going to expire today, then nobody ever went broke taking profits.
Like the quote.
I mean, that's the thing that
Thank you, Elaine.
we continuously say on here. And so that's the important thing. We got something from Danny Boy. You were off a couple weeks ago, and it was like he made enough money to put some away for his kids' college fund and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, that was making me feel some kind of ways, because that's what you're supposed to do. And if you have some money like that, I always say, it's a Jim Cramer thing, but go buy yourself something nice. Take some of that profit away, take your family out for dinner or anything like that, and enjoy the trades when they're right, because so many times they can be wrong. And, celebrate the victories, but at the same time be responsible.
Yeah, because the other thing too is, but if you never bank when you're feeling nervous and you got that gut feeling, I feel like that's you're not going to be consistent that way, because you get there how you get there. If your calls are what made you the money and your gut is telling you to bank the profit, at some point something about that is you should be listening to. But yeah, I think we'll get a lot of questions about the volatility that we're experiencing. I kind of like this bounce that we're seeing right now. It might actually give you an opportunity for some fades. One thing I was also gonna, before we go back to the boys, interestingly enough, one relationship from yesterday is still held. There's one thing that I haven't changed my mind on, and that is Boyle is distinctly weaker than USO. So this NAC asset is just not going anywhere, and I think that's a good sign. Yesterday, even when USO would go up, it would not break out and it wouldn't follow completely, and it's sort of the same thing here today. It's gapped up a little bit. It's not through yesterday's highs, which you might expect, whereas USO obviously has done and oil prices have gone absolutely ham. So I think that gives an opportunity that if there's a huge trend break, if USO loses VWAP and enters into a downtrend, or just has another prolonged uptrend after the open, I'm looking to revert, but it'll be on Boyle because it's continuously weaker. And that worked yesterday to be able to be short. So we'll see. There's a lot to watch here today. No questions asked. You guys are in the right place. Whether you're in TikTok, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're on Twitch or anywhere else that we are, buckle up. We're probably in for a fun ride. Just not always a fun one for the long-term account.
Definitely not. It is not all negative today. There are a few areas, as we said, that you're going to find some positivity. I mean, this is not a huge deal, but for anyone who's in the running world or enjoys running or follows running or uses technology while working out even, Garmin actually up a little bit here. Had a pretty good day yesterday, the past couple of days here for GRMN. You familiar with Strava?
No.
It's very, very popular. It's basically social site or social app where you can track runs, or if you're into cycling, you out on a bike ride, it'll track, GPS of that and give you all the analytics for it once you're finished. It's a paid platform.
Okay.
But tons and tons of people use it. It's all over social media. You go out for a 10K run, come back, post it on social media with the Strava, map overlay and the actual picture of what it is. Lots of people do that.
Nike's actually best performing segment. They said this was the segment that was continuously growing year over year, was their running performance.
Right. So similar. Anyways, Garmin is buying Strava and I guess going to integrate it into their platform somehow. They did try at the end of last year to come up with some sort of paid portion to, if anyone has a Garmin watch, there was a paid portion on the food side, nutrition side, but yeah, they're buying Strava, which is a pretty big deal in that world. So Garmin actually has fared a little bit better than most, but as you said, kind of the polar opposite to what Nike has done over the past couple of days here. But interesting anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as for Nike, Brenda, we talked about this name. The competition is just too vast and it's continuously growing. You have those other brands and just e-commerce based as well. So they're not paying for that brick and mortar. China sales really hindering this stock, down 20%, and modest growth over in North America as well.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens today with Nike. But you guys, if you zoom out on Garmin, that's a weekly chart. I mean, could be a lot worse. It's, definitely stronger than the market at this point.
Well, my experience with Garmin is, like, my wife was a triathlete. She used to do triathlons, and in the triathlon club, like, literally everybody in this club had these obscenely expensive Garmin watches, and she still swears by them. And because, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there isn't a place that's like, I wear Whoop, and there's people have like Apple Watches, this and that, but it's just so much more expensive than all of the alternatives out there. Yet they have an incredibly loyal set of users and they that swear by it. So I've never used it. It always says it's the greatest thing ever and will never wear anything else. And you can do a heck of a lot worse than just this is the other thing too, like whether you like a product or not, it's your cup of tea. The question really becomes, do enough people like it, regardless of what I think, do enough people like it to either give it the volume or to give it the quality margins that it can look like this? And it's like the juxtaposition with like Nike. Like it doesn't, like Nike just prints revenue. Like they have tons of revenue. They have tons of people that love them. But there's something missing, and they're trying to turn it around. And I think at some point they might get there. But if you aren't, like, to me, Nike's like a short till it's not. Yesterday kind of proved it. I think just short VWAP if you can get it. But Garmin, that's exactly the type of chart that you want to see. I don't know that there's going to be any trade on this today. I would certainly say there probably isn't. But I've said it oftentimes. Like, I don't use any Apple products. When I was a kid, we always had Apple. We had Macs in our household. I grew up as a Mac user and not PC. But I don't buy Apple products. But I've always owned their stock. My rest of my family swears by them. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. I don't invest in the things that necessarily I like. I try to invest in the things that everybody else loves enough to give them high margins. So, and the Garmin looks fantastic. I mean, I wouldn't buy one, but it is what it is. And I do believe it's a good day to bring Mitch on. Let's see if he can find. I know we have Mitch coming in from Trade the Pool. It's like there's a lot of doom and gloom. But there's always something that's strong, and I'm hopefully sure that he can find a few other things that maybe we haven't even mentioned that are showing you some strength. Yeah, good look on Garmin. Obviously, defense and energy are kind of obvious names. Let's get to the desk. We've got our morning guest.
I was just doing some digging on that deal. Strava currently has 180 million active users. I knew it was popular, but I would never have thought that popular. So Garmin essentially just buying 180 new potential customers for those watches that Neil was talking about. Yeah, let's bring in Mitch Hoke is here from Trade the Pool to give us an update on your thoughts, Mitch. Good to see you, first of all. But I mean, we're coming into a pretty wild market here the past couple of days. You go back a week even. what a reversal we've had, you know, not only the past 2 days back to the upside, but then here this morning off a cliff once again. I just, before we jump into things, I just quickly brought up a weekly chart here of energy specifically. I know we'll touch on that here, but that's the XLE on a weekly chart. That's a pretty ugly red candle still on a weekly time frame here for the XLE, but there's always time. Obviously, just one more day in this holiday shortened week. But give me your thoughts here after what we heard last night.
Well, it seems like they're doing a little bit of a cutting the grass. If you guys hear some background noise, that's what that is. And the reason why they're doing it, I'll tell you one thing. It's they're spending that oil out there, and just like everybody else has to spend that oil out there. If there's one reason the industrial trade broke, of course, was this oil trade pullback. But I was talking about it yesterday. What were the comments that we really got from Trump yesterday, right? Had any narrative really changed from the Strait of Hormuz? Nothing had changed. He said, if anything, that we would just leave it alone, right? Just let them deal with it, right? That would create more issues in oil than it would help if we even took over, right? What we need is a resolution here, not just more uncertainty. So that's why oil is reacting right back to the upside. He thought that he was shoring up the trade, but if anything, he made it more uncertain here about what's going to happen in oil. Yes, now we may know when the war may end, but that doesn't mean that oil will go ahead and just quickly come back down here. Because if there's now going to be a battle of the Strait of Hormuz, well, then that would cause some more issues in energy. And I think that Trump's not realizing one thing, right? Is that if he doesn't fix the oil situation, the inflation starts to hit the United States, right? And that would be worse than just oil prices higher. Everyone's concerned about oil prices higher, not necessarily only because of oil, but what comes downstream from that effect, right? And I think that that's what we need to be watching here.
All right, let's dig in. Next layer then. Is there, you know, maybe one or two names you're looking at in this space that look pretty good right now?
Yeah, so if you're trying to play the war trade continuing, right, and oil going higher, I say you look at coal. I've been talking about coal since the beginning of the war, and I think that this is where you can actually still continue to see some upside. Why? We all know what's also happened in natural gas, right? And we know how Europe works. When the natural gas starts becoming too expensive, they just turn on the coal plants. So I think we're going to continue to see this. And another majorly exposed country here, of course, is China. China is, of course, one of the biggest coal consumers, right? If not the largest. And so in this case, we want to start looking to see if we get continued upside. There's names like HCC, BTU, right? These are your kind of players that are getting the hit and going to get the upside, right? HCC actually has the primary play here because of the Asia exposure. This makes, of course, the highest torque coal name here to play. And I think this is just getting started. We got a nice pullback the last couple of days because of the oil trade coming back down. I think this could get another lift here in HCC and possibly get right back above that 100 mark. So we'll see what happens here in coal. Another way to play this is to play maybe chemicals or agricultural inputs. I'll talk really quickly about these names so we can go through it. But chemical names like Huntsman and Dow, DOW. I'm not talking about the Dow over 50K. That's Pam's game. I'm talking about Dow, DOW, the ticker. Look at that a chemical name as it's been going higher. It's a really nice play to play here. It's all about, of course, the effects of oil. And then agricultural inputs, you'd be looking at a name like CF, which has the highest potential here of getting that lift. Of course, you guys are in Canada. You guys know all about potash, right, and that kind of game. But one of the things that also happens is like Corteva, CTVA, and NTR. Corteva, reason why is that now this affects fertilizers for, of course, the crops. And then what are their kind of alternatives? Well, let me go for some better seeds. So they start calling up Corteva, and their seed demand is really being driven. You guys can see that by a 52-week high there in Corteva as this continues higher.
Trying to find, you know, these areas of the market where, as I was just alluding to with Garmin, you know, a different story, obviously, but, you know, it's not all bad. If you bring up, you know, tech, you bring up some of the areas that we're used to talking about, looks pretty terrible right now. But I mean, some of these charts we were just ripping through right there, you know, it's not all bad. These are positive.
No, there's plenty of good, right? And you're talking about kind of the tech hardware trade, right? AI hardware. There's plenty of trades still left in there, right? If you take a look, this has been why the market hasn't fallen towards a bear market. If these names go, yes, we're going to bear market. I will say that right off the top. But what are those names? Those are the memory names and the semi-equipment and material names. If you guys remember, we brought AMAT back in 200s, and that looked like a crazy technical breakout. But really, think about these. Look at these charts, right? We'll run through them. In memory, WDC, STX, SanDisk, right? These are continuing higher because they're sold out. They can't get the demand. They can't reach the demand, right? If they could make more memories, they would make it right now. So these companies aren't turning around, and the backlog isn't turning. Unless the hyperscalers turn, that's how these start to turn, right? Semiconductor equipment names, ASML, AMAT, LRCRX, KLAC, TER. If you guys don't understand how that supply chain works, it's pretty much a monopoly. So look deeper to understanding how this works, and you'll understand why these semiconductor equipment stocks are holding up. The area to avoid is still software. That's the one place I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. Reason why? No one knows what's happening here. Job layoffs keep happening, and if anybody tells you they know, they're lying. The only thing to understand here is a business model that needs to be changing here, right? It's all about the cost for users, but we've all seen it. I've seen what I can create with AI. Brendan, you saw my institutional style report that I can send you now. Financial data, you wondering why these financial data stocks are going down? There's a reason why. It's all the coding and abilities that we have now as retail traders. Institutional research is slowly but surely losing all its edge.
Be honest, Mitch, how long did that take? 6 minutes? 7 minutes?
I mean, it's like 20. You got to understand, what I normally do is I do like a huge report on the market, and then I can always simplify things with AI and make it really, really easy to consume, right? I do like now a dashboard a day where it's like a graphical image with colors, with different areas, one-pagers. I mean, it's absolutely amazing what the capabilities are. Right now as a trader, if you're struggling to make money because you're just not being able to trade in this environment, stop. Go build and learn something about AI. You might be able to use that in the future as we come out of this, right? So I've been telling everybody, if I was in college right now, I would be literally telling college they can wait. I need to go learn this AI stuff. So if I want to make money in the future, this is the way to do it.
Well said, 100% agree. Let's talk about today. Let's talk about the next couple of days here, maybe.
Let's do it.
Anything top of the mind as far as, I mean, start wide here. We're coming in on a almost 180 for sentiment. Past 2 days, super positive. Everybody, you know, was buying. It was everything was fine, and then we come in this morning, we're right back down. VIX up 15%, better part of 15% here. So volatility's back. How do you approach the open this morning?
Well, just look at your Twitter feeds, right? You saw how they went quiet this morning, right? Well, the bulls got trapped. Now they're trapped on the upside and on the run. We'll see what happens if the bears can really come in here and take things down. One telling sign will be, look at the financials. What led to the downside in financials? Well, it was credit services and asset management. What led to the downside in technology yesterday? What was the weak industries? Well, it was software application and software infrastructure. If you want to know if the bear trade is coming in, look at those names right off the back. If you start to see those take out the lows, well, you know, you got to go also. So what I'd be looking at here is different trades, right? If oil is going to go higher, guess what's going to come right back down? The industrial trade. So there's like airlines to the downside. You could look at heavy farm and construction. If you wanted to go boring, you could look at railroads. They're so affected by oil prices. You can see when oil comes up, of course, they go down. When oil comes down, the railroads are coming right back up. That's why the industrial trade had such a good day. It led the upside yesterday. Why? The oil outlook of coming down. But quickly, as we go right back to the upside, that's as fast as they come right back down.
Great stuff, as always. Mitch Hoke over at Trade the Pool. What's new for anyone who's wondering over at Trade the Pool?
Yeah, come and check it out, guys. Like always, I think one of the number one things that we give you the ability to do is also short like crazy runners. I mean, there's been some massive runs as of late, and these private stocks that go to the moon. I even saw like you grow, right? If you're looking to trade all those high flyers and of course have what? Limited risk. That's the difference when you go to these other brokers. We don't got to name them out there, but yeah, you lose, you know, 60,000 on a $20,000 account because you're shorting penny stocks. Well, guess what? You're going to owe the brokerage. But with us, we'll cut you out and we won't go ahead and send you that bill in the mail. So, hey, check us out, guys. Trade the pool. I'll see you next time. Best
of luck today, Mitch. Enjoy the holiday weekend. I think a lot of people are maybe in need of one.
The bonus trade, aluminum. Guys, it's not going away. Yesterday, they tried to do a little bit of a noise move with talking about tariffs in the after hours. Guess what? The smelters are offline. And when these ovens break, you don't just bring them back online. It takes about a year or two just to fix the issue. So these aluminum plays are going higher. How can you watch this? You want to be watching the spot price in London and watching for that to break the 4,000 mark. That could be a hell of a trade right there, guys. Enjoy it, guys.
Mitch's daily bonus, aluminum today.
Aluminum.
Thanks, man.
Aluminum. Take a look.
Somebody's got to say aluminium.
Yeah,
aluminium. Aluminium.
Oh, Mitch is still there. Yo, Mitch, I want to bring you back. I want to bring you back because one name that I've been talking about, we've all been talking about for a while. We've seen these fintech names get killed. A couple months ago, you had referenced SoFi as potentially a Palantir-like play. Obviously, Palantir's come back down. SoFi's now down 60% since we last talked to you about this name. The whole sector is getting beat up. Obviously, I think both of us are relating some of it to crypto. I mean, you know, with some of the play down, we're seeing a little bit of a downward trend there in Robinhood because of that. Maybe SoFi with the bank charter is a little different than Robinhood and who their end customer is. But can you give me a little bit of a thought there on SoFi, if you've looked at it, what you're thinking? Because today, Mitch, man, we're breaking $15.
And the muddy water.
We know the financials, right? We know the financials. What are they always focused about? Monetary policy, not the fiscal policy, right? So I think what's happening here is monetary policy focus, right? The interest rate outlook that we were coming in the year thinking we were going to get 3 cuts and that we were going to maybe, you know, kick out Jerome Powell and get even more cuts, right? Well, that's quickly has flipped because of this war and the inflation concern, right? Now we're talking about potentially raising rates. That's quickly how you can break a trade, right? Because the number one way that I always talk about trades quickly turn is a quick fundamental change. What's the fundamental change that you look into? Well, now the interest rate's sensitive, right? If financials like this, right, that loan out money, the number one thing that they're going to be sensitive to is interest rate outlook changes, right? So that's what's happening in the financials. And we also got the disaster call by Trump about credit. Right. And ever since then, Visa's been struggling. MasterCard's been struggling. Capital One's been struggling. And then what happened? You started to see more conversations about private credit concern. You started to see more conversations about public credit concern. You're seeing credit card delinquencies at their all-time high. Things like that, right? When that conversation starts coming up, you run from the hills from the financial game and you wait for that to turn. Once we start to talk about that, let's say interest rates are not going to hike and that we could potentially put the cuts back online, watch how that trade can quickly turn right back to the upside. Like always, we got to be sticking with 2 things like always I was taught in school. Focus on fiscal and monetary policy. That will lead you to a lot of trades.
Okay, good. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we were just
follow the money.
It's just down,
follow the money, guys, and interest rates, right? Interest rate sensitive names always move. Like, let's say like Open, right? It was such a great looking name. We were like, yeah, let's go. The chart looks great. But then the interest rate outlook changes. Look at Rocket chart now, right? That's how quickly it changes. Got to stick with the flow.
Okay, yeah, good analysis there, Mitch. Thank you for that. We've been wanting to talk to him about SoFi. I mean, I just think down 60%. I mean, we were when that stock was at $32, maybe we were expecting one interest rate cut, something like that. Now it's down to 0. So I still think it's a very dramatic move to the downside there and probably oversold. And if we're only going to buy it the next time we hear about interest rates going, I know you have that.
Yeah, I think that at that point
that might be a long time from now.
It'll be a little bit too late. I think maybe like even when the sentiment starts to shift on rates, that could be a bit, because you want to get at for these kind of things, you have to kind of get out in front of it at least a little bit. What's interesting, at least for me, like I go out to December, only a 3% chance that rates are higher. We're still looking at about 17% chance of a rate cut, and obviously overwhelming odds that no change. And then if I'm doing it in reverse, right? If I showed you guys April, well, there's a 97% chance we're right here, and there's a small chance of a cut. That hasn't increased. We've seen this in the double digits at one point in the last month. I think the high was 16% briefly, and it cut back to 8, then it went down to 6. Now we're down to 2.6. So a rate hike, those odds didn't jump overnight, although we should keep track of this. Let's keep track. Let's see if the VIX breaks 28, if these odds start shifting in the other direction toward a rate hike, that could also be bad for the market. But nothing too crazy yet in reaction to the overnight speech. We're still looking at no change, despite all of the fears that you could get a rate hike. So, the other thing too is when Mitch talked about the travel names, one that's on the radar for me today is going to be CCL, if only because it's got a pretty defined range the last month. Like you've got a defined bottom at 24, just slightly under it. You've got these rejections at 26. See, this is another name that was a potential breakout today. It's disappointment because 26 had been the line that it couldn't get through, but it would break and fail. Yesterday, it spent the entire day above 26, holding that prior resistance as support the whole day long, even the afternoon dip, it bounced off there. Classic setup for a continuation long, and then last night happened. But that just means it's like a fade till proven otherwise at the 26 level, and it's got room to revisit the bottom. So it just gives you different opportunities. Like stocks, this is how it is. Like stocks that seemed like breakouts yesterday, you got to be able to pivot. That's why I try not to write down too many things on the iPad the night before, because you never know what's going to happen gapping up. But this was one that looked to me like it was going to be a breakout, and today I think it's short. So go figure. Oh, shoot, we have a super chat. Andre, can we throw that super chat up? I'm not on the page. We have one from Omen. That's a great movie. I actually love the Omen movies, not the remakes, the originals. Hi, just logged in and saw the major gaps. Well, it sucks. Yeah. I am a new trader, and new scenarios give me pause. It should. What plays should be in your quiver? What do I look at? Well, on any day, like any of your normal trading strategies should be in your quiver. It's just when you have this type of volatility, the kind of things you might adjust are, okay, well, maybe you'll be a bit more patient at the open. Maybe you'll have you'll have wider stops and fewer shares, so you can risk the same amount on a trade when you have increased volatility. Those are the types of things that you adjust to overall. But if you play trends, then maybe the trends today just aren't in the direction that you want them to be. That's sort of the thing. But I think we can expect a little increased volatility, especially at the open. But don't forget, it is a holiday shortened week. I'm not sure. I think the open will have volatility. I'm not sure how much there will be in the afternoon. You never know. We could be headline driven there. But there's nothing wrong with if it's the first time you've come in and seen a gap down 2% day, that you're just more cautious off the open and you're not as quick to jump into trades. Maybe only look for your A+ setups. And another one here, another super chat from Cater. SKYZ low float oil play looks amazing. Thoughts? There's a bunch of these today. Runner? Yeah, it's there's a few. Put a couple in the watch list. TDME, and then there's that Battles also going. This one SKYZ. Is it Amex? Is this Amex? SKYZ. I thought I tried New York first. Where can I call this up? Did we get this?
SKYZ.
SKYZ.
Check on the e-signal.
It's not in my drop down. Can you pull it up in e-signal?
No.
Okay, so if...
It must be a different
Yeah,
name.
sometimes you might transpose some symbols, some letters, and that happened yesterday with a super chat, so if you can just let us know
Maybe it's, someone said it's Sky Q.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Okay, here he goes, and maybe it's this one. If it's Sky Q, this
There
is
it
up
is.
110%.
Yeah, that has to be
I'm going to
what it
make the
is.
assumption that
Yeah.
this is it. So we can do a quick. First thing I always want to do is let's get an idea what the float is that we're looking at here. So I think that usually it matters to a certain extent. You can already see this is a habitual line stepper. 28 mil float, 6% short, so decent size. It's already turned it over 3 times. Over 75 million shares have traded. It has rejected its prior high. So that would be, the only concern is there's two long-term concerns. One, rejecting the prior high is not the best. Also, this looks like a reverse split kind of name. So it's like a post-reverse split breakout. I don't think I've ever seen a stock that is like one of these reverse split culprits that doesn't eventually get back to the lows. Now, maybe this conflict can have these run for days. But the cautionary tale I would use is, remember Battalion? Remember Battle? Remember Battle going from $3 to $30 when the conflict started? See Battle at 5. Like, it was all the way back as of yesterday's trade. So when you're looking at these low float energy names that are going to make these moves and squeeze institutions and squeeze short side traders out, understand that they tend to be relatively short-lived. And you can't, who knows? Like, did you know Battle was going to, like, from this breakout, February 27th, did you know that the third day was going to be the top? Could have been the second day. Could have been the 5th day. Who knows? But they almost always end up looking like this. So keep that in mind with that name. But for now, volume looks good. It's holding the trend. As long as oil doesn't fall all over itself, should be okay. But if USO does some kind of a crazy tank down, understand that you might see a halt down on some of these stocks.
Yeah, it should be a volatile day today for sure with USO. UVXY still up that 10% here. Here's what the oil contract looks like right in front of our face right now. Up 10, 12. Was up 9% when we started the show. Now up 12%. So I have USO written on here. We have long, short the market, short silver, long USO, short IBIT. I mean, pretty simple stuff. Today, not even looking at individual stocks. We are going to run through a bunch of individual stocks coming up. We're going to go over to the front, go to the back on the big desk there. We did have a problem, obviously, with the watch list. A new one's been sent out, so we want to thank everybody for their patience with that one. Man, oil here, guys, still going higher, up 12.25 right now percent. USO trying to push out through 140 right now on USO, just hitting its head against 139. What a wild ride we're about to go in for today. It's only 9 o'clock. We'll get those imbalances and we'll see where we go. Okay, SoFi launches. Okay, what's up, Mopar? I don't know. SoFi has to launch itself into the orbit first before we do anything with this one. Big business banking? Okay. I mean, that's good. Look, I don't know anything about that story, Mopar, but we just talked about this with Mitch, and I think he's right. It's very easy to call stocks that you like, especially when they're near the tops. It takes something else to, recommend buying something near these lows, and I just... there's probably lower to go, unfortunately, on SoFi right here. I mean, as this market gets a little weaker, we are right now at that $15 mark and looking, it looks like a decent area, but I mean, I don't even see, it was pretty choppy the last time we were up into here, and then we lost a bit and we actually went sub 10 for a little bit. So sub 10 would be 50 more percent, not 50 more percent, a third down from where we are right now. So we still got a little ways to go, I think, on SoFi. Give a couple more days like this, and I think it might be time to nibble in and add just a bit there. I don't think headlines are really going to matter for SoFi right now unless it's something completely extreme, right? I mean, because we also had, Muddy Waters, right? I mean, those guys hit this stock down when it was $19 or whatever it was, and then it got into $16.50 or something that day, and then bounced back the next day a little bit, and then since then it's just been like, you look at the chart here.
They can't get back above that 16.5.
No, I mean, this is I think it's even got to get above this 19. But, you go right here, just since March 9th, so we're almost a month in, there's maybe like 3 or 4 green days out of the last 20. So SoFi getting kicked as well as Robinhood. Right
and the last time it had the down move that resembled this, it was down there for months. Like the bottoms, so if you look at this, outside of the IPO, when it's been good, either you get a wipeout like a wipeout bottom like this, who cares? Because the next month you get a good price anyways if you buy it in this consolidation off the wipeout bottom. That's a huge bottoming tail, and then you get that reversal. So that there you don't have to catch the bid. Then you look at the other consolidations where it made a bottom and they lasted multiple months. So those you don't have to have the bottom either. Like I can't tell you how often you will look at the charts of stocks that have been destroyed and actually bounce back to get to new highs, and show me the ones where you needed to have the bottom, where it actually mattered that you caught the falling knife. It doesn't matter. In this wick, you can be long here on the 13 area, maybe even 14. Does that matter that you didn't get 10? And in here, like anywhere from, like when I was buying SoFi myself, like I love SoFi, all that stuff, that was during this little hold. Like when it showed you was holding these lows. It was all 6, 7, 8. Or it's just 7, 8, because my daughter hates it when people say that now. But you just don't have to always catch a falling knife. Like, let it prove it to you. They're all guilty till they're proven innocent, I think. And I think we have Tesla delivery, 358,000 unit deliveries, missing by, it was 368 expected, 358,000. So a slight miss there for Tesla. It would have been nice if they didn't miss, but I mean, I guess it was already weak, so Tesla's down 3%. It is moving slightly on this, down a couple of dollars further. So even Tesla, well, yeah, the deliveries aren't going to come and save us, unfortunately. Yikes.
To be expected, once again, for Tesla. But yeah, downside a little bit here. Better part of a couple of dollars on the back of that. So we'll recap coming up here for Tesla. We were so into everything else that was going on this morning, we bypassed a couple of numbers that came out there at 8:30 this morning. Balance of trade data for February, negative 57.3 billion, which was a little bit higher than expected. Import and export data basically in line with what was expected. Initial jobless claims for last week, 202,000 versus 212,000 consensus. So a nice downtick. Same story on this number, 1.84 million versus 1.84, slightly to the downside for that as well in the forecast. Anyways, more Fed speak today to be aware of. We get natural gas inventory at 10:30, a couple of debt auctions coming up as well. And then the big one tomorrow, remember, no market tomorrow for the Good Friday holiday, but we'll get non-farm payrolls in the morning. We'll react to that, or the market will potentially anyways react to that coming up at Monday. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you grab this. Every single morning comes out to you. Again, we apologize. There was an issue this morning with the email platform. It has been resolved. We have sent a correction. Everything should be as per usual with the watch list. Link is below if you haven't grabbed that yet. Second link down below in the description will get you the free watch list every single morning. Yeah, if you missed it, 358,023 on the Q1 deliveries, 358,023. Estimate was 372,160. So substantial, I guess, better part of 20,000 on the miss side here for Tesla. Let's shelve that or put a pin in it for a second. Talk about energy here. Oil, as the guys were just talking about, absolutely ripping right now. That's the XLE. I mean, you can bring up any oil stock or USO if you want to talk about that as well. Basically back to highs here right now.
$110 a barrel right now, Brando. Going to probably continue to climb. U.S. economists saying worst case scenario, you can see that run into the 300s, which would be absolutely absurd. And then also diesel starting to increase in price as well to around $200 a barrel. So Donald Trump's sales pitch is looking better and better as oil prices essentially continue to climb.
It's been a couple of weeks of this war already, and it's first time I can remember. I'll go back and check, but West Texas Intermediate above Brent. It was the other way around for a better part of a week and a half right now. But WTI, guys, taking the lead here for oil. What do we do today?
Yeah, and by the way, Tesla's now much lower. So it's almost hitting 4%. Like it just hit 66 half. So we're continuing to fall in that delivery numbers from Tesla. And interestingly enough, like the move up in oil, like there was I think it was Auto Trader was saying that they had like 28% increase in inquiries of EVs, which makes sense. But then, none of that's mattering to EV company stocks.
No,
like not right now, obviously. And you guys can see what USO is doing. I think the trend sort of speaks for itself. I think we're back into the volatile stage for USO. Yesterday was a very much sideways day. I'd be a little bit surprised if we did that whole consolidative type of nonsense day that it had, where it was back and forth. For now, though, the way I want to play this is it's been more of a revert stock. Like the biggest moves have come when you have like some kind of a change in action, or you have like a trend break, or like these consolidations and change of action. So if I don't see a strong trend, hold to the bottom and trend break higher, that's the way I'd want to be long this thing today. And if I short energy, it's not going to be USO. If there's a trend here that breaks, or if there's this kind of a trend breakdown, I've already said that I'd rather be looking at the thing which is weaker and not breaking out highs. Like Boyle yesterday, while it was an inside day for USO, this actually just trended down for the entirety of the day, and it's still weak. It's gapped up, but it's under VWAP and all those things. So, yeah, if I see a good trend break south side, it'll be playing in Boyle. Otherwise, we got to look for some of those lows to come in. I'm not sure how much I'm going to care about VWAP at the open on USO, given how volatile and how much volume we've done so early. VWAP will matter to me like a little bit later on, like if after 10 o'clock or so, or closer to 10 o'clock. For then, I think you look to the 135 spot. Just all the way back in, because I expect some serious volatility today in USO. Like double, whatever you think the range was, whatever the range was yesterday, minimum double that, I think should be your expectation.
I'm expecting a very volatile day. I have it written down here as not necessarily, I just retweeted our video from yesterday, how traders decide not to take a trade. Oh, I got a beard going on there. Maybe I should get that beard back. Okay, so yeah, I just said watch out for VWAP basically in this 134 level. I mean, I thought early dips to get long. No reason oil should fall today. Now that I've been thinking about it though a little bit, the only reason is profit taking. We got those questions earlier and thought like, okay, what are we going to do with this call option or puts or whatever you have here? I guess if you have puts, you're not doing anything. But if you have calls, I wonder if there's going to be a little bit. I mean, I think that's a big move, right? I'm not sure what was priced in overnight for USO or for oil, no matter what contract you're looking at. Boyle, nat gas, like everything in the energy space right now is ripping. So I would say that, sometimes when a trade looks too good to be true, it's often the opposite of that. I could see oil coming back down. VWAP right now is at 137.50. That's going to be way too close. We just talked about that video, and if you want to go watch it, maybe I'll put this link in the chat right now, how to avoid taking a trade. So if we do that, I got nothing to see here. Okay, well, I clicked on it. We'll have to figure that out. But dung right there. I was watching it before, so I don't know what the problem was. But anyways, down into 134. So I said, if oil does make a move back in, I was kind of just using, I don't even really know why I looked at 134. I was just kicking it back underneath around that 10% sort of a gain back up there to the upside for oil. I kind of predicted that this 200 period moving average would be around 134 by the time this opens up and we get a couple data points kicking around again. So 134 to 133 area for a dip buy on USO. That's where I'm going to be sitting, waiting for it. Just see if we do get a little bit of a pushback into this area. Looks like we are coming back just a little bit. I could see the market rallying, just, again, some covering off the open. And if the market rallies, oil, people will think, it's time to sell oil because the Nasdaq's rallying. I think that's going to be false. I think what we'll wind up doing is that'll create some sell action in USO in which we'll be able to sit there and buy it. I want to be long this name today. If something does come through and we get a huge announcement of maybe the troops have left. I mean, they just deployed, so I don't know if that's going to happen. Or something that can really spark this move, either the straits somehow open up. I can't even know. But at the end of the day, we're going to watch out for USO today, and I'm playing dip longs. So I don't think VWAP's going to be a thing right now, and I did mark that down. But if it holds, then we know what we're playing off of. And right now it's 137.50. Just there's so much time left. And you don't have to wait for the market to open up. I mean, I'm still bidding right now 134. If we do flush in, we can take that. But it wouldn't be a surprise to me at all if those moves happen. I mean, it's only $4, right? I mean, even just yesterday, if we sort of zoom in to see what we what we saw yesterday, that bottom of 122, immediately goes up to 126. That's $4 right there. And then it comes right back in $4, up again, back. So we didn't have a crazy violent day yesterday in USO, but you could see, man, there is lots of opportunity for this thing to pull right back in. So I'm going to be bidding this one. And again, around that 134 area. Tesla's still going lower. I mean, I'm sure we're going to, we have that story next. Okay, let's go over to Brendo and figure out what's going on with Tesla.
Here's the actual number for you right now, 408,386. 408,386 was the production side, the delivery side, 358,023. From what I've seen, it's 11 to 12,000 off estimates. Remember, the S and the X officially dead as of 2 days ago. So this is going to be just the Model 3 and the Model Y. So it's a miss, but I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
It could be a lot worse, Brenda, but we can see that the majority, 90% of it is coming from 2 models. It needs to diversify. I think we need to get that mass production of the RoboCab coming out soon. There's a lot going on with this name, especially in the options activity as well, too, guys. Let's take a look at some of these contracts here that I wanted to pull up. And a name that was moving with the overall market continues to slide a little bit more. We know that they're losing market share left, right, and center to these Chinese EVs in Europe as well, too. So it's a little bit tougher of a look and down substantially off of its previous all-time high. As for Tesla, guys, look at this specific contract, 385. We closed around 380 yesterday, continuing to slide here this morning. $11 spread, relatively wide, and then also a lot of volume coming in, substantially more considering Brando, and implied volatility up 2.7 million contracts open and closed on yesterday's session.
Tons of volume, tons of volatility across the board. Session lows right now coming into play for Tesla. Remember, the narrative that Elon wants everyone to concentrate on and focus on is they shelved the S and the X to free up production facilities and space for the robot side of things, let alone, as you said, the Cybercab.
Which with this name, we remain forward-looking. We know he's optimistic with his timelines. He's produced the first vehicle. We need it on mass production now and him really start spitting some of these vehicles.
It's that time. You found that number yesterday, 30K. Starting for the Cybercab as well. So it's coming. Whether or not it'll be soon enough remains to be seen. I guess time will tell on that side. But we are accelerating right now to the downside here, guys, for Tesla.
What bid? No bid on Tesla. Now 4 1/4, 4 1/3 here for them. I don't want to say it's a broken stock, but this is at least it's letting us down gently at this point, right? Like Tesla's got a very sort of, we talked about this all week, like very gentle, maybe it's not that gentle, it depends on your opinion, compared to some other things, I guess it is, a downward trend. So I can't see any reason. Deliveries are fine, obviously I think their earnings would be more important than that, but I can't see A, sentiment, B, these delivery numbers leading us anywhere back to a retest of the bottom of the channel, which now, if you set a lower low, sits at about 348. So barring some change in the sentiment, I'm talking about what's going on in Iran, this number probably heads us lower. I was just sort of looking at this because I actually added it to the iPad. When I zoomed it out a little bit here, you kind of get a good region around probably more 68 to 73, but I call it 70, 71 in here that if you think that we're going to have any kind of a big reversal, that should be a really large test. Like if it comes back to those prices and is able to find buyers up there, regardless of what the market's doing, I think that would be pretty bullish. But what just happened now is USO right back into highs, slight pullback, right back into highs. That's going to put further pressure here. I talked about how there is more sentiment for EV names in a general sense, at least in terms of people searching for new and used vehicles and having some interest in them. That's not, in the really short run here trading, I don't feel like that's going to matter with Tesla, unfortunately. And because this is usually the only time we get to talk about Rivian, just a interesting sub-note, at least it is to me. As the market's been continuously going down and Tesla's making fresh lows, you can see, and USO just spiked a high, Rivian's actually bouncing for some reason right now and close to going green on the session. And it could be because there's been support down here. Anytime it's breached the 200 period moving average, it hasn't really lasted more than like a day or two. So it could be that. But it's worth keeping an eye on. Like if I see the market try to turn around here, I'm just looking for some like risk type names that look a little bit relatively strong. And oddly enough, didn't expect to find it here, but you do find it to a certain extent in Rivian. Would need to punch through 15. I'd need to see the market show some strength. We're not seeing it. Would need USO to break trend. That's not happening either. But if they do, I think Rivian looks a little bit better. You don't have to worry about the Tesla delivery numbers with this one and having its own bad news. Rivian doesn't. And like I said, it's a fraction away from getting green.
Look, as far as Tesla is concerned, Rob, thanks. Rob just brought me coffee in this nice cup.
Yeah, you got the tasty coffee.
Tasty coffee cup here.
I got the flowers.
I was talking with Rob there about traveling. Now the coffee's cold. Damn it. What have I done?
How's that possible?
Yeah, so down 4% here today. I mean, everything Neil said, I just, dropping back through here. I feel like you may test some of these lows. Like, I don't. It's 9:15. We'll have to wait to see when those imbalances come out. But yeah, right into there. Tesla's not going well, man. And the thing is that anybody that's really buying Tesla for EV purposes, we know that that's lost away a little bit. And, despite what oil is doing right now, you think that would have rallied Tesla. And I heard you mention Rivian there as well. Like you would think that with oil up at another 12% right now today, people would be flocking towards EVs. And now there's a lot of competition in this space, and we've seen stocks like NIO and some of these Chinese names also get hit a little bit here over the last little while. And although this one ticked higher, they had actually a great report. But just right here today, ticking back down in. I wonder if we look somewhere else, if we're going to try to trade EV names. And NIO, the chart looks pretty nice, man. Holding base at 550. Above the 200 period moving average. I think if EV names get hit here and you can sort of trust the Chinese here, I think this might be a pretty healthy look back up to $758 for NIO here as we talk about onshoring some of these cars here in Canada. I don't know, with the current administration, obviously, with Trump, there's not going to be any Chinese EVs or anything like that rolling around the United States to masses to hurt Tesla, but there's just so much competition now. We saw GM and Ford. I know Ford's laid back, but hybrid right now is what's pretty hot. So, all right, let's go. We're running out of time a little bit here. All right, Intel. You mentioned how hot it was yesterday. Not so much today. Let's go find out the story.
Yeah, a couple of people echoing that sentiment in the chat as far as Tesla is concerned and the hype being gone to a point where my neighbor had two and recently got rid of a Model 3 and replaced it with the Ionic Fiber.
Yeah, I've seen those. So they look pretty. They look pretty cool.
I noted that. I was driving by. I was like, huh, interesting choice. All right, Intel downside here this morning to the tune of a few percent. Anyway, we were sitting here yesterday when that story came out about them buying back 50% of their. It was over in Ireland, I believe, one of the joint ventures they had going. It was in the billions. Day before that, it was spending in the billions. I mean, we're back to the millions, but 15 million investment into this Samba Nova. It's been a expensive week for Intel, but the stock likes it.
It has, and I mean, things are starting to turn around here for Lip-Bu. Hasn't been in office as a CEO for quite that long just yet, but the stake, obviously, within the Donald Trump administration, that 10% is most definitely helping this name. But things are really starting to turn around here for Intel, it seems.
Yeah, we'll see if it can hold anywhere, guys, on the way back down here. Huge range yesterday, obviously, so we're stuck in the middle, basically, of that currently.
Yeah, it is technically it's going to be in the middle of that insane gap that it had yesterday. That being said, if you look at the 15, there was one red candle in the morning, and it was right here where it found like 46.5. It's actually 46.65. A little bit of support there. So give it that to 47 was a little bit of a checkup that it had, and there's room down to 45. So this does have a market wants to fall. It's got a short area here where you can press into this 646 half area, maybe 47, and then we look for the 45 to retake the entire thing. The other bad news is, well, I guess it's not bad news yet because you haven't technically broken the 50 period moving average until we really lose it today. We're right there. There's been a bunch of rejections at 48. I think yesterday counts as one. for Intel. So you had some good news. You had 2 days of just parabolic, let's go from 42 to 48. And we rejected that 48 area yesterday. We're heading lower. So a retest of this consolidative area makes some sense to me. I don't know if you're not going to get to 42 today, barring some kind of abject disaster. But the 45 level looks like just to fill the gap back into where it broke out from yesterday. As long as the market wants to cooperate, I can't see why it doesn't do that. So yesterday's positive news stories are just not mattering today. And the positive news today is kind of a smaller one, if we're being real.
Yeah, there's not too much positivity there. I mean, Mitch gave some ideas, fertilizer, food names, and so on and so forth, potentially starting to go. I mean, I was just going to look at Marvell. You know, it's a very similar kind of concept here where we've been rallying on this name, and it's not going to be. We said this yesterday. Like I'm pointing to this price, not this level here. Yeah, Marvell's not getting to 130 today, but maybe a couple weeks. It's just the story works for them, and the problem is right now you take profit, right? I mean, there's going to be some traders that come in and they want to sell things that they've made money on, and so right now the big shiny sort of thing with Nvidia, they've just put in $2 billion into Marvell, so that got them rallied there for 2 straight days. If you take away that story, yeah, Marvell's probably down into here right now, like $80, right? Because like the story hits around $87. Yesterday was a good day, so maybe we bumped up anyways into 90 and change. But you lose 5% off of 90, you know, but then now all of a sudden you're back into this 85, 86 area. So I could see some sell pressure come into Marvell, right? I mean, this is just an Nvidia bump that could ease off a little bit. But if sell pressure does come in, I mean, I really like the name. I like the space. I loved it before that announcement. I wasn't even here when that announcement happened, and I was like, what the hell? And that was a nice move. So this is 98.50 is where I'm looking at right here. So if this does pull back in, I could see us breaking 100, right, almost right away off the open. And then I want to just see this area. That's where we opened up to yesterday, $99. We'll see if we can hold in and around there. You take a 99, you give it a couple pennies. These tops are 98.50. So I think that's worth it. I don't know if it's worth, like I said, I'm not sitting around anywhere right now and bidding or offering anything. My order log is blank. I was going to bid USO, but I'm going to wait to see what that opens up as. But Marvell, yeah, 99, 98 bucks. I mean, I think that's a good deal considering we were at 108 yesterday. I like the long in this name, and I don't think it's should be affected too much by oil. But again, oil has everything to do with input prices and global demand as well. So we're going to have to wait to see what happens with Marvell today. But I'm a buyer on a dip south of 100, but not by much.
All right, not even metals getting a bounce here this morning to the downside in a pretty big way for gold and silver, everything related, also looking similar. We just actually made a new low on the session here for SLV, bounced off 63. Not a heck of a lot of volume behind this move, however, today, but even the safe havens aren't too safe here this morning.
Not currently, and I mean, we were talking about this as of late, Brenda, is that with silver, you have this massive run up trying to catch up to gold, even though it's not going to get anywhere close, but it's moving in tandem essentially. But then you have this period where you have the massive dump, crazy liquidations as well too, and then it hasn't really been doing anything as of late. So a lot of choppy price action in silver, but it's the same thing as this oil trade. It's all fun. You're climbing higher, and you think you can continuously buy high, sell higher. That's not necessarily, and that hasn't been the case because I mean we're still down substantially, more than 40% off of that previous high.
I mean, part of the problem with these types of headline-driven markets is going to go both ways at any given time. Individual names maybe not as bad as some of these ETFs. That's a weekly chart for SLV. We're back at the bottom end of the range, guys.
And if you're looking at the gold's like 3, silver 6, the gold miners are worse than gold. I think we don't always talk about GDX, but sometimes the miners will give you a bit more of a move. You certainly would have seen that in the spike yesterday. Look how this broke out, like just downtrend and then huge breakout in GDX yesterday. Well, today's a different day. There's not much you can do about it. It's got a bit of a head and shoulders type of look where you can set up the left, I guess, I don't know how you're looking at it. You set up this shoulder here, left or right, mirror, or are you looking at it in a mirror or are you not? Doesn't really make a difference. 92. I think if you get up to there to like the prior highs, like yesterday, speaks for itself, and you had that wipeout top. But when you have this happen, it's almost like, okay, let's throw at all of that stuff that happened above the gap, and then let's just look at the chart as if it didn't exist. And what I see is, let me zoom in a little. Is that as far as I can go? Okay, what I see here is some overhead resistance. You got 92, and then you have a little bit into the prior high at 94. So if this does pop, I think it's a fade on GDX, barring some kind, like if this is the thing about this. If it just glides up there, normal trading, and gives us a reversion, great. If the reason it's going up is because USO goes from up 12% and then is like down 6% and is tanking, we get a headline, that's not some, oh yeah, well, but you said you like the short in GDX. Well, things can change. And if USO flips on its head and oil futures flip on their heads, you have to be willing to adapt with it. But for now, this to me is a fade at 92.
All right, so for me, I wrote down silver here, SLV. I know we got that super chat before about silver going long over there, Mr. Golden Thong. But I had, 66.50, man. You were down 6%. We're actually down 7% now. Looking to see if we bump up near yesterday's open and fade this thing into the weekend. I'm nervous about stock right now. And I talked about it being a risk-off day. As I wrote this message, we were at $64. I said we were down even in the note there. It says we were down 6%. While we're down another 1.5% right now. The 200 period's at 65. Here's the look from yesterday. I just thought if we could, again, we were at $64 when we're writing this note. I thought maybe we could get up into here where we were yesterday, where we were consolidating, and ripped, basically. So I guess we're not, but $66, if that ever happens, great. Watch out for this pre-market high now of 64.30. Again, it's about sitting on your hands, I think, for the first 5 minutes. Let the market either flush out, and then maybe we can pick up a bottom and or continue with the momentum. Or if there's that little buy take here off the open, I think there could be a little bit of a relief rally, and that's where we'd be sitting here looking to get short. So right now, 65 looks like a much better play than that 66. As I said, when we were writing this note, that's where the 200 period is. Now we're down to $65. So I like that short for SLV. And yeah, it's not spot silver, but it's SLV. So close enough to that. And then Neil just went over gold. So I'm not going to do that. COPX could be another name here today as we continue to watch copper. I think copper does have a really great story to tell, especially because of data centers. So I still like copper, and that's been hit as well down to the downside. And then I think Mitch mentioned, or someone in the chat, he mentioned aluminium. But I was talking about coal. There is a coal ETF. It's just coal. And I don't think we have it, so unfortunately we don't. Anyways, COPX, not a bad play as well for copper. But I'm going to be looking at silver today, short. The imbalances are out, and then we're going to throw it right back over to the desk. So let's just have a quick look here. On a shortened week, we go today. Not much right now. There's nothing really on here that's of any interest to us. There's IBIT. We were going to talk about Bitcoin. No, so I do have IBIT as a short as well, 38. So that could come in here. That's your 200 period moving average. But nothing on here of any interest that we talked about today. Maybe NEO or something. There's Occidental there's Occidental right there with a quick bid. None of these numbers are going to be significant enough to do anything. So we'll pass it back over to the desk and find out one more time about industrials. Here's a sector that could rally. It did not have a great month in the month of March. Let's see what happens in April. Let's go over to Brendan and get the story.
Yeah, there's all kinds of strength if you look under the hood in some of these names. We were talking about it with Mitch if you were with us at 8:30. A few of them, anything in the chemical space, anything in the fertilizer space, going to look much better than the overall market. That's a daily chart of Dow Chemicals that Mitch was talking about. There's some of the fertilizer names, NTR, CF, Mosaic. I saw a few people in the chat talking about these all starting to get going once again, and it's on the back of this oil trade.
Yeah, if you take a look at the XLI, and as you mentioned, Brando, if you take a look under the hood, we have the Caterpillars, the GE Vernovas as well too. GE Vernova still performing, only down a percentage point or so off of that previous all-time high. We know the run that Caterpillar has been on as well too. Just considering this AI build-out, if we're going to head over to the picks and shovels, that's where you're going to essentially start. And Caterpillar also able to take these massive data centers off the grid and build their own, which helped this stock continuously climb significantly higher. So as you mentioned, looking under the hood, there's a lot to find within the industrials right now.
Yeah, if you zoom out and just take a look at the sector itself, going back to yesterday even, it was relatively strong versus the overall market. We're in that kind of world, guys, where we have to understand that, it's red, but there are things still rallying.
CF's a good example. I don't know that anybody's going to day trade CF, but When you talk about the fertilizer companies, this is probably going to be one of the better ones. No questions asked. Since the conflict started, it's got a very clean trend. It just bounced off it yesterday. So I think you have something to watch here on the daily chart, which can give you an indication, like some support to buy out in front of. Just simply, it's easy to connect the lines on CF here. As I said, it's not much of a day trading stock given the low volume, so I think you probably want to stay away. A couple of names that we didn't get a chance to talk about, just going to throw out there. Actually, we mentioned Nike, but if you weren't tuning in right away, it's not that we glossed over it, but yeah, on a normal day, if we had a repeat of yesterday and we had an up day, then Nike's down 1.6% and continuation short would get a bit more press because the market might have been strong. But instead, it's down less than the overall market, despite that terrible, horrible, bad guidance and poor trading day that it had. But this is clear trend down. If it pops, about to 45 is as far as I'd be willing to still like the short. If it does, it's too close to VWAP to care, and VWAP this early on a Thursday, which is also in the week, I'm not going to care too much about that either. I'm going to be looking at the pre-market highs and the 45 level to fade Nike. And once it sets up lower highs, it just turns into a short to pops. Once it does this once, it's like, okay, we'll just try to play it short every single time after that. I, too, am like pretty much every day still like some IBIT to the south side. Yesterday was one day where I liked it long. Sentiment obviously is going to shift that. So my first spot is going back to Thursday's lows, 37.7, but also the gap fill to 38.2. We have 30 seconds to go. Quickly, nothing changed on the imbalance locator unless you really like a couple of penny stocks there, which we don't really care about. Remember, Tesla had their delivery numbers. If you're just tuning in now, why is Tesla down 4.5%? Well, because everything's down, and B, because they missed slightly on deliveries, and they're down 4.5% going into the end of the week. The holiday shortened week, we're going to ring the closing bell, or the opening bell for the last time of the week now.
All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody. I'm on IBIT rate. Oh, it looks like the market's trying to go. So here we go. Look at that. Nice little rally right up to the upside. We are getting close to potentially getting short here. I'm going to try a short on the NASDAQ right now. We were waiting for 41.25 as we had written down there on the note. But let's just try a little bit here into the open, and we'll just try it. I'm at 09s as well, so we should get a little, there we go. We should get a little more shares if we do that. And then I'm going to wait for 41.25 on these TQQs, but the market is bouncing here early back up to the upside. Just kind of clear ways, man. If we take out, 41.40 or something here to the top side, we can get out. But right now, we'll go short on the NASDAQ and see what winds up happening right there. All right, so that's it. We're short right there. Quick check-in to see what's happening on oil. I know that's what everyone wants to look at. We want to thank everybody for watching today, for sure. Still down 12%, or up 12%, but as Neil mentioned, potentially coming back just a little bit right there. And then SLV, I mean, we're in our first position right now, and that's the TQs. Silver not doing too much. It just looks like a little bit rip higher here in the market, and I'm short right now. The NASDAQ looking to get a little bit more at 41.25. Yeah,
it looks, well, I mean, USO's almost at VWAP back in there. IBIT did come into that local high here, so we'll take every single peak until it proves otherwise. Boyle is at the low of the day and breaking lower. Nat gas is just different right now. Nat gas is down Boyle's down 1.4%. Not up, down. So that continues to head lower and be relatively weak. But going to make sure we get some profit out here if we head back into the low of the day on IBIT. Want to get my orders out. You already mentioned USO. Just want to quickly throw everyone over to Tesla, which did do a big spike. Got all the way to 367, but just gave about a couple of dollars back. Remember, Tesla had their delivery numbers, so even as the market goes, there's a chance that it could be relatively weak. That's just a chance. We didn't talk about the memory names. Micron hit $340 and underneath 340 actually, down 5.5%. It's already back to VWAP and pressing through the high. So bit of a reversal. $8 reversal on Micron. I'm saying a bit of a reversal when Micron just went $8. An $8 reversal here on Micron. I know we didn't talk too much about the memory names there, but they've typically, on days where Intel and Marvell aren't making the biggest moves, it's usually been SanDisk and Micron that lead the way. All right, so IBIT's back to the low of the day here, but keep in mind, the first move was up. For now, it's holding the trend. You go to resistance and head back to the lows. We'll try to rinse and repeat if it comes back in here and see what is next. This Boyle is just so weird. It is so bad. I thought there'd be, like, it would catch up to USO and pop, and I wrote down short 16. It's at $15. Like, it already dropped 7% this morning. It's ridiculous.
Man, it's we were so close to getting our 41.25s up there, guys. But we can ring the register right now, and there it is right now. It's 18 cents as we short the NASDAQ. We talked about shorting pops right there. So we take that money and put that in our pocket, and we'll see if we can reload a little bit here as well if it does pop back up. So we'll take a little bit there, and then we'll see USO and other oil plays go boom, says Scott H. Yeah, man, I mean, let's see what USO is doing right now for you. Yeah. Not doing anything for me right now. We said maybe a playback to VWAP, as Neil mentioned, 138 coming into play there for USO. We'll see, man. If the market goes upside on the NASDAQ, we know USO is going to be coming back in. So this could be a good one. I mean, underneath the 50-period moving average right now, underneath the 25, there it is. There's a move. So here we go. Move down now on USO. We'll see what we can do with that one. I know you're in IBIT. I'm looking for a higher on that. Good fade right now on that one as it's following the market, it looks like, for IBIT. I said yesterday, I mean, I really liked Apple if the market could bounce today as well. So Apple, yesterday we had that move there higher. We were long at 254. You guys saw me get out too early on that one. And then right now we're trying to battle with Apple. I mean, I'm not going to short the market in long Apple. So just another look right there. We did have talk about an industrial name. We had Boeing yesterday, had a nice move higher as well. So this is only down 1%. So this might be a little better of a look right there as well. Did SoFi hold $15? I mean, that's another question. No, it's right. Well, it is, yes. But it's trying right now. And I don't know if we broke it or not today. It says 15.01 low, so I'm assuming not. Decent size there at 15 if you wanted to play off of it. That could be something. But, we know the market can run through this million shares.
Spoiler alert.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Nike's making fresh lows.
Yeah, okay, what, 40?
If you were concerned about whether or not the Nike was going to go to the upside when the market bounced, it absolutely did not. It just hit 43.4. This is going nowhere near prior day lows at this concurrent rate. This is ridiculous. All right, okay, well, we just got another fill on IBIT. That just broke the low. Yep. That just busted through the low of the day, so it continues to fall here. USO is at the volume-weighted average price. I'm just trying to reassess if Nike goes up. Where do I want to get in? It'll have to be VWAP for now. But yeah, market's coming right back into the downside, although USO is still falling. So interestingly enough, this is coming into VWAP USO, and the market's falling along with it. So far, so good. Just wish we had gotten a Nike short. That stock is a dog.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Almost got the daily goal already here, and we got a new position as well with Intel. So look at this market just fall down, man. We wrote down 41 to 4. I mean, it's right here. It's on the sheet, right? I mean, every day we talk about the sticky note and we talk about what trades we have on it. The number one trade today is a TQQ short between 41 and 41.25. You want to know what the high is? 41.20 right there. So, I mean, we absolutely nailed that call there. There's 41, there's 41.25. I mean, this is the range that we said would be the high, so we have to take some profit. Now, we just took some out, but now it's even getting lower. So let's take a 75, 76. There it is right now. We remain undefeated right there with the Qs today, and let's just see if it goes lower. I mean, I don't want it to. Obviously, I'm long only in the long-term account, but and short-term, every account. But here we go. Let's see if this continues to bleed down. It sucks to celebrate it, but there it is, man. We're day traders, and we're putting some money in our pocket today. There it goes, man. Nice move down on the TQs, and let's see what we can do the same type of thing here with INTC and get a low bid. I mean, we're just bouncing. I don't know why we're bouncing off 47. We'll bid some 97s there. Now let's bid some 95s and see if we can get something. But so far, so good here on Intel. Shot up. So I really wanted to short somewhere around this 40s or 50 marker. So if it does come back up, I'm going to re-engage in that short. But yeah, so far so good here as TQs making that money right now. Oil dancing, we're short on Intel. We've got everything cooking right now on this side. Yeah, big day alert happening again. So yeah, welcome to the show, man. It's 9:38.
Yeah, markets are heading right back down. Looks like it's going to be good because USO just bounced clean off VWAP. So if that gets back to the highs, like it probably should, at least in the sentiment range, I think the shorts are going to continue to work. We'll try to get some Nike. But the other thing I want to pick up is I got to get the short on Boyle. If we don't bounce here, if we don't bounce on Boyle when this gets back into the high, I'll be a little bit surprised. But whatever that pop is, I'm going to try to fade it because Boyle is looking like an absolute dog. I do have a target on IBIT. It'll be the week's low. So if we hit the week's low, that's where I would like to take the money and run. And then let's go back over what is Nike doing. Still not really much of a bounce in Nike. Still 2.5% to the downside. It's trying to put in a green candle. Forget about that wick. Wanted to come back in, retest the prior lows in the volume weighted average price. Just going to get my order out so we can try to pick it up. Let's go and show you guys what's happening over. This is the first pre-market we didn't actually pull up NVIDIA at any point. I think so. NVIDIA was breaking and holding the volume weighted average price. Now it's starting to come back in. So a little bit of weakness over there in NVIDIA, but I just got picked up in Nike, so I have to quickly pop over there. It just went right to VWAP. Nike sucks, man. Mm-hmm. Like it was just at VWAP, basically spiked it, and then right back down in. So they're just not doing it again with Nike, unfortunately. Sorry for the pun. I know people love Nike still.
Yeah, like you said, it has nothing to do with
the other thing, I'm just going to say, this is one of those, it's not even a value trap. If this thing ever becomes like a value, I would consider at some point trying to catch a bottom on Nike if I saw its PE be good relative to its peers because of the brand loyalty. But it's not. Still expensive. And it's at 10-year lows, maybe even 11, maybe 11.
We could get stopped out here on Intel. I mean, just a huge move higher right now. So yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, I want to go short up here, and we said we want to be short up here, so we're short up here at 30s right now. Obviously, okay, I just took some out at 35 because yeah, nervous right now. So we're gonna watch out. I mean, our TQQ trade. I mean, let's fucking go again right now, man. I mean, this is what we're doing. We did it yesterday, Neil. We're doing it again today. You got a good trade there in IBIT. We've got this TQQ monster trade on right now. This is an absolute monster. I mean, unfortunately, we don't share our P&Ls or anything with you guys, but I can just tell you right now, we've got a good trade on right now with these TQQs as it continues to get to that downside. And bang, there it goes, man. $40.50. We got that. And boom, as we get lower here. This is exactly what we wrote down today. We don't need no Mitch. We don't need nobody around here. We got what we got, and that is right here. Risk off tone, short 40. I mean, there it is. We're almost $1 in right now on this trade, and there goes Intel back into the downside. Oh boy, man, we say traders got to trade, and that's exactly what we've been doing lately. We've been putting on some bangers for you guys. I just want to thank everybody for their continued support and continuously watching us here on TikTok, on YouTube, wherever you guys are. Thank you so much. Boom, Intel. This is exactly what we're talking about. These are the markets that we love, baby. So Intel to the downside, exactly that call. Wait for it to get to the upside there, short it. Now, whether or not this continues to fall down, I don't know, but I think we got it pretty good. Let's start to rinse it out. I mean, I was not expecting that huge move right back up to the upside. So I think Intel eventually stops me out. So let's take some profit where profit lies right now, and it's not even that much profit. We'll take another 30 bid as we just wait for this market to completely come crashing in. So there it is, man. Big time trading right now. Neil's got short GDX, IBIT, and Nike.
Yeah, finally GDX calmed down a little bit there. That's actually, this is the one that's looking obviously a little bit stronger. Nike just came through VWAP, so that'll actually be, I'll show you guys Nike. It came back through VWAP, so it'll be a small win, because we didn't get the low of the day, but I still think as long as it holds this prior consolidation level in the pre-market, what's what I'm going to call it here, just consolidation level at 44, I'll look for another curl. IBIT's doing the same thing as before. It's right at the low of the day, but GDX, and if you don't know, GDX is gold miners, right? So you can look at gold or silver. Just did a couple of lower highs. I want to play this off the lower high. I don't know why it's so strong right now in GDX. It's kind of like it has the same chart as Intel, and I looked over, like GLD is weak and under VWAP. It's not as if it's like SLV. SLV's climbing, but GDX is uniquely strong. So I think there's a catch-up trade there, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself thinking it has to be early. So maybe let it make a couple of lower highs in here and revisit it a bit later. But as long as gold itself isn't doing a huge breakout, I'll probably revisit that one in a quick second. IBIT, I haven't had a chance to reload it because it didn't really pop. Hasn't come back into VWAP. It hasn't even come all that close into the volume weighted average price. But this is one that we'll hang on to. As long as it trends down, we'll continue to try to short the pops as USO literally at the high of day. And the other symbol I'm looking at is Boyle. That's my fourth. It just won't move up. Like USO goes back to the high, and Boyle can't even get to the lower high. It's such like Nat gas is not moving. It's only going down, and these moves up aren't really doing much of anything for us here. So I'm sitting at VWAP. I just don't know if I'll actually get picked up on Boyle.
Look, yesterday, guys, at this point, man, we had a $4 or $5 winner on Microsoft. Today, we're doing it again with Intel. We're doing it again with Qs. We're doing it again with iBit. We're doing it again. I don't know. You had that Nike trade. I'm not sure if that one would wind up happening there. But the market is still making lows right now. So trying to bounce a little bit there. We have been taking some off. I mean, Intel's been an absolute banger right now, but as I said, I'm not confident. And sometimes when I say that, it's actually the opposite, and the market actually starts to turn for us and really work it out. But 47 is VWAP, so I'm going to start to cover a little bit here. Hey, look, man, I mean, you can see I got 30 cents right now on Intel, and we've got 60 cents on the Qs. So on the TQs, it would even be more, of course, on the Qs if we had traded that. But yeah, we're just going to continue to do us, right, and not worry about anything other than that. AM right here. Silver, not doing anything. So I think I'm in the right space, man. I think that's all that matters. We talk about being prepared every single day, and we are definitely that one more time here today, as there goes 52. See ya. So there it is, man. It is our first daily goal met right there, and it's 9:43. Yesterday it hit at 9:37. Today it's 9:43. Man, I've been, watching some people on Instagram, and everyone's talking about, wanting to make those trades, make the quick trades, make the good ones. So there it is right there, man. You're now done. This is the life. So shout out to everybody that's enjoying this kind of a lifestyle for a trader, where you make your money and you get out right there. So hopefully you guys have done well. That trader that was long on UVXY probably still printing okay. Yeah, so 55. So you haven't had too much volatility in this space right here. Right now, market trying to get a little lower right now, but bouncing. So yeah, really happy, man. I mean, Intel still here, 47.39, covering against VWAP, and just waiting to see if anything's going on right now. I'm not seeing anything on the scanners. I got Intel on there, which is why we shorted it. And that's about it right now. But we are cooking, man. I appreciate everybody in here. What's up, Mike Peter Ryder? Just looking at the chat now. Katina, man, there it is. What's up, Sam? Oh, Shawnee. Okay, that's nice. What's up? Go get him, Sean. Yeah, you're welcome, Chris, as well, man. We're doing it here, and we're doing it daily, which is awesome. So, join us every single day right back. I mean, there's Intel right now again, trying to go a little lower off this level. So I'm going to cover a little bit more of Intel down here at 40. As it just pops up down there at 47.10 I was going to do. So let's put another bid. You can see how
USO just hit 140 and pulled back.
Yeah.
Even dollar, that's all happened.
Yeah, no problem. We could see how aggressive Intel is, right? And so I'm going to put some more bids there to start to cover just a little bit right there. So yeah, man, it's been an awesome week and awesome end of the week, it looks like, trading-wise.
Adam Jones abroad. Happy global recess. Sorry. Oh, just as I was reading it, that disappeared. That said, sorry Easter all. God bless. Why sorry Easter? No, happy Easter, everybody. I guess it's some kind of a joke that it's a sad day when the markets go down, but that's just the stock market, man. You got to be able to play in either direction. Son of Daniel Cheese Tycoon, thank you for the super chat. Tesla better get its act together. My team and I arrived on the moon yesterday, and there's no way I'm going to be able to get all this moon cheese back to Earth without more robots. Katy Perry can only carry so much cheese. Thank you for the update there. Obviously, a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Artemis, thank you for a successful launch. Didn't do anything to any of those space stocks, unfortunately. Blunder, it's good to see I fooled somebody yesterday. Good to see you, Neil. I punched my computer out of rage, hearing how they shit-canned you, decided to check back in today, and here you are. I'm happy. So basically, the lesson of the day, I just did a bit of a gag. And I thought I fooled nobody because the chat didn't seem like they were fooled. But yeah, obviously April Fool's was yesterday. The real April Fool's joke was what just happened to the overall market overnight. Although we are bouncing. Why?
Yeah.
Because USO's right back into VWAP. So pulling right back into the volume-weighted average price. If Boyle is not going to go any further, then I just got to try to get it where it is, if I can. That the first time we bounced off VWAP in here, this time it looks like we're trying to plunge back through. So big drop in oil, biggest one of the day. I have not heard a story. I've got the earpiece on. I've heard no crazy headlines or anything. Could just be that we hit the high and it rejected the high. It's bringing the markets back into the upside. And iBit is still, for now, holding. Hit enter twice. For now, it's holding. It's trying to come into VWAP here. I'm still looking for the reload. That hasn't really changed. But I want to see a topping tail. Like, there was a rejection of the high that got me in. So if I see that again, then we're good to go. But yeah, it's the oil drop that's causing this market to come back in here. But it's not headline driven. If it's headline driven, then something would have really changed my opinion.
Okay, we got stopped out of Intel there on the top side of it, and as we had just talked about it, like this is literally why we were emptying out the clip. So Intel will be a fine trade, but definitely did not get that going to the downside. I mean, as soon as it's funny because it was at 10s, and I was like, I better get some out there, and then the next thing you know, we got some out at 25s, and then there's the top break there. But of course, we reloaded, so. Right there. So we'll take another piece out here at 94 if we can get it. Then we'll go down to 84s and see if we can get that. But yeah, man, the market right up to the 200 period moving average again. There it is. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So that's not a bad trade there. On the reload of our TQs and our NASDAQ position short side. Now. But yeah, welcome to the party, everybody. Let's have a look at the broader market just real quickly to see what's going on right now and have a quick look. Yeah, I mean, this is what's going on. Not great. Where's some strength there? Costco, Walmart, upside, J&J, the healthcare technology. We talked about a little bit about this yesterday, the XBI, places to hide out, right? I mean, I like the biotech space. So Eli Lilly got a little bit of a bump yesterday on a new oral pill there approved for obesity, the first one.
Farmer names are in play because of the whole Trump. If you don't have a deal, then we're looking to punk you. And Lilly's one of the ones that has a deal. Okay. So I think they're relatively strong.
Yeah, I mean, I like farmer names as well. Easy place to hide out. Yeah, so here we go, man. The financials as well, 2.5 downside, right? JP Morgan, these guys are going to be reporting on the 14th of April, so we're close to that. These reports now coming back in. So, I'm wearing the ICE vest today. ICE up 0.9. Nice to see that. Maybe I'll call them and let them know if I wear it. This maybe happens to their stock. American Express, WFC. Okay, so those are the financial space today. Just what's been good here, a Broadcom downside. Oh yeah, we should have looked at Marvell. We wanted Marvell at $99. So let's go have a quick look to see what Marvell did today. I haven't even looked at it. We should have instead of Intel maybe. MRVL does go into only 101, so Marvell actually does not fall. It actually takes off in the open up to 104 as the whole market does, falls back in now, and now I was trying to think about that 101 and change. Yeah, so we are still just short here on the TQs and, really burning it up here today. So there it is. Thank you, easy peasy. Hey, this is exactly what we're talking about, man. There it is, man. Get the hell to the beach. You're all done right there. It's easy peasy. Happy Easter to you too, man. I'd be out of here if I didn't have to host, but we're hosting, and we're going to find some more trades for you.
That's the thing about
congratulations,
yeah. You don't actually bank until you check out, right? Like at the end of the day, if the money's still at risk, then it's not in your pocket. It's like, and if you're a prop trader, for prop traders, if you don't leave the month with that net intact, then none of what you did matters, and that's a sort of a different sentiment. Obviously, for retail, like you can check out anytime you want. Oh, whoa, okay, that was just interesting. Oh, USO was bouncing. 2 seconds ago, USO was bouncing off of the lows, and it looked like we might actually break this trend. I realize that this is shorting the low, and I'm shorting a trend break at the bottom, which is usually not something I do. But we took Boyle, the first opportunity it gave us. I don't think that was that's like a B entry at best because of how low it is, but we scalped it to the low. And if I see this consolidation in USO continue lower, A, that could spike the market, but B, I would feel like Boyle could go, and then USO could really accelerate to the downside. So keep your eye on oil. It's kind of at a cresting point underneath VWAP, which makes me want to double check. And let's go back over to IBIT, hit enter twice. That's coming back above the volume weighted average price. Still looking for it to show me a reversal candle. Otherwise, I'll let it hop through VWAP, get out while we're still positive. Like, don't want to turn this into a loser. I said to myself, if USO is underneath VWAP, that's probably a good place to get out and reassess. That's exactly what happened here. So sometimes it's just how it is. If USO is leading the market, you got to be able to react to it for sure. And JL8, another thing we didn't talk about, the Blue Owl redemptions are getting aggressive. There was there's some more headlines there. They're continuing to get hit. That's why we don't love those financials right now. They're kind of under a lot of pressure. I know the one we keep coming back to is SoFi, but it did hold 15, by the way. Yeah. Because that's this week's low, if anyone is curious.
What else do you want to look at here? DraftKings.
Whoa, Intel's at 40.
Yeah, so right now DraftKings has made moves down again here right now. Moves up. Nothing but love for DK. There we go. Now we're back. Okay, we're back. I was muted there. Okay, so DraftKings, nice move up to the upside there from 21.75 up to 22.25 right now. So nice move there for DraftKings. DraftKings didn't even have a pullback, right? I mean, it pulls back into $22, but nice upside move there for DKNG as we try to find some strength in this market. Tesla, though, this morning, absolutely cranked down there, man. It got to 363. I mean, was that, how low did we get this week on the lows? We got much lower than that. Okay, 355. All right, so there's still some downside pressure there coming for Tesla. Okay, here we go, man. I am finally reloaded the last piece, man, 41.25. So if this market goes, I'm only giving this to 41.36s, 10 cents worth of a risk right now on the TQs. It's actually not setting up at all for a short. We're over the 200 period moving average right now. We've bounced pretty good off VWAP. We held the pre-market low. There's nothing about this trade that is screaming that this is a hold all day or anything like that at these levels. So we do have to punch out. And what I mean by that, it could come right back down in, fine, but there's no support up here, right? I mean, you have basically clear sailing all the way back up. So if this doesn't work out for us, we are going to stop out for a 10-cent hit. Just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention there because this is our last straw. It's the TQs. It just got filled up there. Looks like we're going to start to just reverse right now, back up to the upside. So here we go, man. I don't know what oil's doing. We'll have a quick little look.
It doesn't bounce a little.
I was going to say, it doesn't really matter. My order's already in, so we will get stopped out here of the NASDAQ in just a penny. So yeah, there it goes, man. The short is now out there on the NASDAQ. So there it goes, running the day's high goes the NQs. So, hey man, we said this earlier, like on a day where you're thinking this is going to be like the worst day ever, sometimes it can flip it up. And there it goes, upside there on the TQs. I'm not going to get back into this yet until we at least get to 40, like where we just showed you guys, 42.50, something like that up here, where we can actually base it off of something. So that's 42.80, yesterday's little bottom there. So yeah, not a great trade. Good trade early, but then you got to take your profits where and sometimes when they lie. But yeah, I guess it's just Intel right now.
Intel's going nuts.
I know, and that's what I was going to say. Like that break there of that high, good thing we had gotten out. Saved ourselves a whole bunch. And there's another example of it's like you don't just want to sit in there.
It's another example of yesterday's video. Like you can like the initial trade, but you don't have to re-short it up there on Intel. It's going absolutely ham. I'm quickly gonna. If this is the market move we're gonna get, I should have paid for locates on Battle on the off chance this happened, but. Look, now you have USO underneath VWAP. So on these types of days, if you get a big time reversal in oil futures, then it's those small cap gappers. I won't say, Shreve calls them crappers, but whatever. I don't even know the company, so I'm not going to call it a crapper. Maybe they're good. I have no idea.
Who knows?
But if USO is going to hold under VWAP, then I want this one as a bit of a fade. So I just paid for locates. Not going to jump in at the low of the day. I'd like to see it try to put in some kind of a lower high. I still like Boyle, and I don't think Bitcoin's done. The NASDAQ broke the highs.
36.
IBIT hasn't broken the high yet. So far, this would still be setting up for a potential reversal short again. And I would need USO to bounce. If USO can make a bounce, then maybe we can turn around at that top. And then IBIT hasn't broken highs, so the thesis there is still somewhat intact for sure. That's where I'm looking. Going to be Battle, BATL, that's Battalion Oil for anyone that's interested.
Yes.
And then this IBIT. But need to see a turnaround in USO in the futures before I kind of pop into IBIT just blindly. I think BATL will probably set up first. Of course, it's an Amex stock. Why can't everything just be NASDAQ in New York?
Yeah,
or better yet,
hopefully.
I don't even have to guess at the symbol. It just remembers it in the database, and I don't have to type it.
We're long at 137 here on USO, but this is just a pullback play into basically the 200 period moving average. But I'm going to drop this out at 136.50. If it breaks too much lower, we're going to get out on the 5-minute chart right here for USO. You've already broken back down through VWAP. There's our marker, 136.50. There, your 50 period moving average. So we're going to see if it winds up holding that or not. We're basically flat on this trade right now. Now we're up on it. This is just how wild USO is. So let's give it a couple seconds to pull up. Oh God. My whole system has, there it is, let's go. Yeah, my computer is just, I can't even move this chart. That's how much RAM I have right now on this computer. So yeah, I can't do anything. I'm frozen now. So there you go. But there goes oil right now. It's a 40-cent trade right there. Props it up. I'm going to put some orders out. I just can't move that off my screen. So there it goes, man. We gave it to you. We gave it to you good right there on oil. So bang, right there. Good trade there on you. Oh boy, here it goes, man, on USO. We make all that back now from the futures trade into, we go from the NASDAQ right over there into oil with USO. So hey, man, we're doing it again. And unfortunately, I don't know what to do here, Fabian. I can't do anything. This chart will just forever be here now. So
yeah, you probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had that issue before. I think it's the stuff we're running in Chrome, in my opinion.
Of course it is. It's these things that Fabian's building.
Yeah, so if you close them and restart them, it should be absolutely fine. So oddly enough, I thought, like, I'm looking over, I'm seeing USO pop to the upside, and you know what I was sort of saying. USO pops a little bit, and then Battle comes into VWAP because it goes up with it and then short it. But Battle just went down. So it didn't even, it's not even following the bounces in oil right now, which makes it even weaker in my opinion if it can't go to the upside. So the first chance I get, I am going to want to fade that. I don't think this IBID is going to be, I don't think this IBID is looking awfully valid right now. But if we're getting this turnaround, then you got to go over, like SLV is trend up and looking pretty solid. I know one of the names that I was mentioning for potential rebound play was Rivian. It's got a wedge, but I'm looking for something that's setting up as we're going through the highs because I like reversal plays. So Rivian actually beat on their deliveries. It was very small, and it probably doesn't matter. But you're getting a couple lower highs and holding the volume weighted average price. So if this can hold on to VWAP on a couple of candles, I think there's a scalp trade there. But my first attention is to, if the market's going to continue to rip, then I really do think it'll be to the chagrin of these gap up small cappers that are just, they're all just world is going to end, let's squeeze on energy kind of plays. So I'd rather get this into VWAP if we can. I'm going to try and nibble in front of 5 on the next move up, because if it loses VWAP, that's about 515, and if it, that'll be a moving target, so I can get in at 5 and have reasonable risk to reward. Just need it to pop a little bit. And locates were basically free on Battle. Man, what a move in these. I know we always go to SanDisk because it always does this. 50 bucks, the stock is an absolute rocket ship. All it does is punish shorts, these memory names. Micron, SanDisk. Unfortunately, we had mentioned deliveries on Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's not participating at all. As the market hits the high, Tesla just hit the, making some local bottoms here. They missed slightly on deliveries. This tends to not matter that much, but it seems like it's mattering today a heck of a lot for Tesla. No strength here. Intel's at 49. Like, Tesla can't get above VWAPs.
The market is rippy. Yeah, so here we go, man. Oil just drops down again, and we emptied, so we still have half, and it looks like we might just wind up washing this trade after all there, because we still got half of this. Okay, well, here it comes right back up. I'm going to take advantage. Okay, I'm going to take advantage of this little bit of a move higher here right now in oil, and we are just like, well, maybe we're going to get shut down or shut out of that trade. Obviously, you're not going to get shut down on anything. And there it is, man, back into the 30s. So okay. All right, man. Here we go, man. Nice move to the high side. We're waiting at 66s now for oil. And yeah, what could turn out to be what was a maybe not a good trade turns out to be an absolute banger here for, there it is, we get that 66, yes. All right, nice move there for oil. So there it is, man, now it's 70 cents in the money here now on USO. So yeah, man, so far so good over here as we just continue to trade. Again, look at in the broader markets, just real quickly for everybody. NASDAQ now pulling up 1.25%, down 1.25%, but up from its potential lows. It was breaking over 2% when we opened the show, so that was not good. XOM, some of the energy names up 1.3%. There's CVX up 3%, so that's nice to see that one going as well. Some of the utility names higher today as well. Duke Energy over there, Southern upside, so Pembina Pipelines up. So some of these utilities like in Enbridge and whatnot working out quite nicely here on the electronic technology side of things. Wow, there's a dollar club. for oil, man. I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, charts don't lie. I'm just going to sit here and read the charts and hopefully give you guys some of these trades, man, today. And there's USO. So there's the Dollar Club over there on that name as well. So, yeah, man, so far so good. I mean, we didn't screw up, but we got short on Intel and out. We did get short on the Qs and out right there. That was a mistake. I thought I was on USO, but I was on Qs there by accident. So that was in and out there. And it's just right now, it's just USO. We did take another piece out there near the highs. I'm going to take one more now because with this market, we just don't know. This could fall back in a heartbeat. Like, we almost got stopped out. There we go. Take another fill at 44s. Our stop, we didn't get it actually. Our stop on USO right now is 136.50s. So if that breaks lower, then we're going to be out. So 30 cents worth of risk. We just took about $1 there, and we're looking to take a little bit more on USO. It's just 10 o'clock. There it is. We get that 45. So we'll just say, we'll just go money storm. Because that's kind of what it's been like right here for the long on USO pretty much all day. So there it goes. Yeah, the charts don't lie. Exactly, hamster. Thank you, everybody, for that.
If the charts start lying to you, you got other issues. Let's be real. The ball don't lie, chart don't lie. Joey Options doesn't lie either. But what I'll tell you what doesn't lie. Relative weakness doesn't lie at all. So I'm just watching USO go higher, and I'm looking at Battle falling off an absolute cliff as it continues to go down. At some point, you would think it's going to catch a bit of a bid. If energy bounces, it's supposed to bounce with it at least a little bit, but there hasn't even been a green candle yet. Once we get some kind of an indication where the buyers want to step into and how far they can get it, then that's going to be the fade. So just got to be patient with it. I still think it's going to be pretty valid.
Yeah,
if USO continues to go, like, there's no way this isn't going to at least cast some kind of a bid. So not going to be shorting any bottoms in here. But as you're watching some of these names, Intel pressing $49, this feels a little bit too far, a little bit too much for me on Intel. It's like, to be able to do this, 1.8% to the upside, like, that is an absolutely insane move here on Intel. Like, you get $46, you get $49 stock that has basically gone $3 straight up since the open. So I said on my note that I wanted to look for a fade at 47. But you know what? We talk about sometimes, do you make the trade? No. Like, at no point did this even look like it was going to be short. It still hasn't set up yet. So until it looks like a short, then I'm not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. No way, no how. But Battle is starting to come back up and should be able to give me a fill. I'm sitting at 80s to try to nibble in the first time. And just to give you an idea, you know, everyone's going to have a different style of trade. Like, this is that first, like, this is the move up here in USO. If this isn't busting VWAP, effectively, it's done not as much as you would think. Like, we dropped $2 to get down here. We've had about a 60, 70 cent move to the upside. So it's not extreme enough to get me away from the fade in Battle or get me away from the fade in Boyle just yet. And this is really just coming down to relative strength and weakness when you talk about it. Like, Boyle is still trading lower. Nothing too much has changed here. So I want to get any chance we can at a pop. And when everything lines up, then we'll be good to go. The market's looking entirely too strong at this moment. Shout out to Jacquez in the chat. You're saying look at Lunar. I wanted some of these types of names to be good today. And it looks like this one at least is running. You got 9 points to the upside on LUNR. This one's a breakout on the daily at the $23. I don't know if you can break. I don't know if you break out today. It feels like it's a long weekend. It's the end of the week. We always talk about it's difficult to have these types of breakouts on a Friday very cleanly. That's another reason I'm skeptical of Intel. Like, if Intel's going to get to $50, like, this is the end of the week. 50 is a monster number. There's no way I'm not looking reversion at 50. But let's let it press up into it. Impressive by Intel. We had it on the watch list because it had a small story that I didn't think would override market sentiment, but now it's got the sentiment with it. This is not going against the grain. It's actually firmly going with it currently. And I haven't heard a thing about it. Like, there hasn't been a headline as to why crude is coming down or why some of these stocks are going higher. It's been all quiet. This is just pure market rebound, and maybe the president's speech wasn't as bad as we thought. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the market is what it is.
Its own beast.
Look at Intel, just an absolute monster. Okay, NVIDIA too, and everything. So we've done real well getting out of this USO trade. So I have nothing to complain about here right now with USO. So all aboard, man. If we break this I'm not going to average into this. If we break this 200 period moving average, we're going to get out. I'll actually take an opportunity right now to take another piece at O2s, just to give us back to 1-to-1 on this last piece. I only have now like 20% left, maybe not even. I don't think left on that trade. So little pieces out there on USO, and it can't be bad for us. Marvell, wow. Let's go have a look at Marvell right now. There it is. Right back upside again, 105. We talked about like if you wanted to find a name today to possibly go long on, Marvell might be the thing. Up 2% or up. Down 2% still, but was down 5% at its lows, right? So now you're all the way back up from 101 flat up to 105. That was its high, kicking around 104 right now. Israel said U.S. won't deploy ground army, so that would make sense there if that is exactly the headline. Thank you so much. We're just reading headlines and super chats that people are putting, right? So if Neil and I do hear anything about something more official, obviously we will be all over that. For that moment in time there. But I was wondering about NVIDIA, which is why I first came up to this situation there, 174, 174.50. That's 175. I don't actually mind looking at that short now on NVIDIA. I know the market has really rallied here today, and I'm not about going long on anything. It's just, I'm not afraid to go long. I know I'm only really looking short. Like I was long oil, short Intel, short the market, and just basically a flattish day right now, especially with oil is going to break, it looks like below. But I think NVIDIA could be a short in and around this 174.50. So I'm going to start it now and then just see if we're able to. There we go, we get the short now. And I'm just going to stop out, man, if we take out that high, which we had just put in now. We'll give it a little bit more room, 174.60. So we'll give it.
At 50.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit higher than that right now.
The 50 break on Intel was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like it didn't even. Usually Intel have a few million shares on the offer. It'll sit there for a while.
Yeah.
And think about it. They didn't think about it. Someone just smoked it instantly, and then it like levitated to 50.10. Intel's now up 4% from down. A complete recovery. I finally got into battle. Now, I think battle's SSR, of course, right? So you can't hit the bid unless there's an uptick on BATL. That was my bad. I should have said that from the beginning. So it's a little bit more difficult. You have to get an up print to get into position. Like you can't just automatically go short. But Intel is at that 50 mark. So far, there's nothing really standing in its way. What are some of the other ones doing? We haven't looked at AMD. Is that also relatively strong? 208. We're seeing, you don't need a daily chart. It's strong, but not as strong. It's still pulling into prior resistance. Like you haven't busted prior resistance. Not that convinced just yet. It looks like it's really just Intel doing it on its own, at least in terms of how strong it is.
All right, NVIDIA short. There's 40 cents. You guys like 40 cents or not? Right there it is right there on NVIDIA. So like everything we've touched so far today has really banged out for us. Intel there was good. Everything was good early and then not. So that's why I'm like a little nervous about this NVIDIA trade because it's working so well for us right now so early. I mean, this was right there, 30 cents and 2 minutes to the downside there. So maybe we should cover a little bit more because, the TQs was a good short until it wasn't. That was a good one until it wasn't. Intel was a good short until it wasn't. USO is still fine. We actually did really well on USO. But there it is, the break through 50s and wow, right back up. Wow, what a volatile thing USO is right there. So yeah, every trade worked out for us and then didn't. So that's the volatile market that we're in. So we'll just cover a bit there of NVIDIA down at O's. And that was right there into some of these bids. This is where we'd love to cover more if possible, but we just bounced. We didn't even come close to touching any of these bids. This market could be really for really in for a ripper here today. I mean, I was not expecting this. We've recovered half of their, I mean, look at this. See ya. I'm stopped out at 60s here. Like I was just saying, this was just at O's right there, and we were happy. And here it goes, man, straight up to the upside right now goes NVIDIA. So bye-bye. This is definitely not a risk-off market at all today. This looks like a risk-on market big time right here, as there goes NVIDIA ripping to the top side right now. So yeah, man, we might have to change up our opinion right now. We're short. I'll take a little bit out here as there comes right back in. We're hitting the keys like crazy because bang, from doom to not doom as we go back to the downside for NVIDIA and put on what is looking like a decent trade now. Wow, man, how everything can change so quickly, literally on a dime right there, as NVIDIA short looked like we were getting stopped out moments away from that stop out, and now it's my most profitable stock.
Yeah, and well, some of the trend, I'm just going to try find things that are trending in the right direction and follow the trend. So battle, even with USO battling, this one continues to go down. There's a lot of these small cappers. If you're watching, most of the small cappers, I think TMDE, Anna, like all of these are like energy names. So when we did have that pullback, the overall trend of those pulled back in, probably a little bit too late. You couldn't get short 5 because it's that stupid uptick rule isn't going to be in effect. But if we break out, if USO can break back out here, it'll be really telling if this breaks out and battle doesn't. That'll be an obvious reload for sure. I think this is where the shorts come in. Here comes Intel finally. All right, some sellers are finally getting into control on Intel through that 50 level. And just as they smoked, see the topping tail? They just smoked it down back under 50. It was at 49.98. It's like the second they saw a number under 50 on the offer, someone bought it back right back up to 5s. So it can't even hold underneath 50 for more than a couple seconds. Let's see if it can do it again here. It looks like it's trying to, so I'm going to try to jump in. This time it didn't immediately snap back through that 50 level, so we'll look to see if this 50 is the top. It was always going to be the 50. Unless it showed a lower high or some kind of a reversal candle somewhere else that was obvious, the 50 level was going to be it or not. So stop is going to go through the top as the usual. Let's see how far this one can go. Intel on a solo mission to the moon itself here. Although my daughter was very disappointed when I told her the actual mission doesn't take the astronauts. Like the astronauts are just flying by the moon. Mm-hmm. She's like, they're not landing on the moon. I'm like, well, no, sweetheart, it's baby steps. She's like, but didn't we do it like a long time ago? I'm like, yes, before Daddy was born. Yeah, it's like, try to explain to them why we're not landing on the moon when it was so easy a long time ago, but we can't do it now.
Yeah, did you tell her we actually didn't land on the moon? Okay.
I try to stay on it because there's, kids, right? So there's always one or two in class that say that stuff.
Yeah.
So like goes around. I'm like, look, we landed on the moon. The Earth is not flat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
We are just, we could talk about all that, but there's NVIDIA, man. We just got 17s right there. This is a big trade. Markets have been extremely active lately. For traders, this kind of environment creates opportunity. Big moves mean more setups, means more momentum. But to really take advantage of these conditions, you need two things: discipline and access to capital. And that's where Trade the Pool comes in. Instead of being limited by the size of your own account, traders can access firm capital and focus on executing their strategy and managing risk. No more fear of blowing up your own personal account. No more moving your stop loss too early and worry about your own savings. This is what we call limited risk trading. So if you want to take advantage of the volatility in today's markets without risking your own capital, visit tradethepool.com and please scan that QR code right there. And you get your 10% off whatever you decide to sign up for at Trade the Pool. So go make sure you do get that QR code. And thank you everybody for watching with us here today. Shout out to everybody on TikTok. What's up, Bravely? I hope you're doing well over there as well. Hit your like button no matter where you guys are. I'm trying to pull down the DXY. Hopefully this doesn't freeze everything up again right there. So here's the DXY right now, making a move higher to start with. This is a 1 hour chart. Let's just go into a 1 minute chart so I don't tell you it's going higher when it's going lower. So there it is, man. The dollar getting lower on a strong NASDAQ tape. Makes sense to me. We talked about weaker dollar, better for the NASDAQ names as you repatriate back in. And there it is right now, another move down in. We'll look to see if the DXY takes out 100 right now today. Nice move up. We almost made it back to its recent, I think it was quarterly highs or so, yeah, right into here. So almost back up to $100.60 there for the DXY, which goes all the way back to June. Talk about, a dollar that's been lagging through these levels right now. There goes NVIDIA. So we make money on it, then give it right back. This is the story of today. Wow, the market is really blasting now. There goes, we just looked at the dollar. There goes NVIDIA. So taken out. So quickly in and out there on NVDA. We just got filled at 17s, man, down there on NVIDIA. So I see Intel's giving its a love back through 50, eh? That's good.
It's holding for now, but I don't think it's going to hold. Nothing's going to hold if USO breaks this low. We're just basically trading the same range. It gets up to VWAP and it can't break through. So if oil's going to hold under VWAP, of course, being a pretty strong
the market
indicator,
almost got there.
It's like over-under is going to be pretty important. Battle, good news is that anytime oil goes up, Battle's still heading down. So I still think I've got the trend right, but I won't let this break past like the prior bar. Just let it try to continue to the downside. I got one takeout on Intel. I haven't reloaded it yet. I want to see confirmation. Like if the following candle blows through the top, that's not a reason to add to this position. You need to see a lower high, consolidation lower. Like when this ran yesterday, look at some of these tops. Like kind of good, much better. Follow through, lower highs. Like this is not, like this is more like the open here at 939 yesterday than it is like these other turnarounds for now. So just got to be a little bit patient with it here for Intel. Keep your eye on the future. Well, keep your eye on oil futures here because every time we press this 24,000, it seems like it's because USO wants to press lower. And don't forget that you have individual stories. Oh, Tesla's back. I was about to tell you that Tesla hadn't been participating in the move. Factually incorrect. Tesla's double bottomed. This has a chance to get through that 370. I wrote down after the deliveries, 370 to 371 would be key. It just can't quite press through there. I'm not a believer unless you can press through, right? They'll slap the fail on Intel, but I'm glad I didn't reload this. This one is an absolute rocket today. Absolute rocket, 5% up. Unbelievable. This one I definitely didn't see coming.
No, Intel's a good one
If
there.
you had told me, well, I mean, who had the news like recently? If you had told me that we turned around and then Marvell was 5,
yeah, Marvell.
it's got more momentum behind it. Yeah, it's not even green yet. Like it's just a little bit surprising to me that Intel's doing this. Nvidia's not even green yet. AMD I showed you guys earlier, that's not even green yet. It's just it's like an all Intel story. And we're not hearing anything specific about them. They literally made a $15 million investment. That was the headline. Million. Like that's what the change that falls out of Lip-Bu's pocket. Oh, by the way, it was in a company that Lip-Bu Tan, the CEO, is a chairman of.
Well, I mean, things are starting to get close to set up for shorts here. But again, like it's just a matter of do you want to trust this short? I mean, I took a little piece there on the TQs. I'm waiting for 42.50s on that, and I can go over that in a minute. But yeah, Google maybe getting top heavy as well. 295. I mean, all the way back. Like that's crazy that we got all the way back on Google there. Like literally all the way back. So here it is right now into these levels. I mean, that's 296.25. I'd rather short 296 than 295, but it's not a horrible idea, I feel like, to think about possibly that this market's just a little too heated right now up near this 95. I mean, I could go short against 95 right now. Maybe we should try that. Let's try that a little bit here with Google against 95s. I didn't even get that fill, so hopefully we get it. There we go. I'm at 64. I'm also at 75. And then I'm just going to punch out if we do break 295. So easy peasy trade right here. Shout out to easy peasy. As there we go. We go short on it. And remember, most of the shorts have worked and then they hadn't worked. So we'll see if give this one a little bit more room right now on Google, see if it wants to come back in. I mean, that 20, if we're going to go short at 75, which is eventually hopefully where we get this trade, well, I guess our average will be about 70. That'll be about 30 cents. So that's 9, and that's perfectly comfortable because right where we could bounce from is this low again, which is 94.30s. So if we get into 94.30, I'm just going to put a bid there right now and see if we can grab that for 20%. And then we'll work on the short after that. So short right now on the NASDAQ and on Google, just thinking that maybe we've extended just a bit too much to the upside right now. I want to switch the bias though. You know, I mean, it's been wrong going short. It's just I don't know if that's the case right now.
Well, I'm going to ask everybody.
Oh, there it goes, man. There goes Google.
I'm going to ask everybody this right now. We are less than 1% away, 0.7%. That's exactly what it was yesterday.
Yep.
0.7% on the ES to the downside.
Google's gonna take
so
it
we
out.
started the voting. If you're in the chat right now, then you jump in and vote. If you think the SPY can get green today, you type 1 for yes, you type 2 for no. And remember, if you're not in the chat, it's a subscribers-only chat. So hit the subscribe first. Water is warm. Jump into a fantastic community, the best trading community out there, the best in the world, the only good trading, only real trading show you're going to find. And then I see we're so 50-50. I'm just looking for a day where we put something up like this up and we're not close to 50-50. We got already 112 votes or so, now 130 votes, and we're 47, 53, 55 is as much. And no is slightly leading the way. I'm surprised. Because of the long weekend, if we go red to green, that would be a bit of a shocker to me. But the market sentiment is what it is. I'll check back on this. We'll end the voting, call it at 10:30 or so before we go into the midday with, it'll be OB because obviously Sharif isn't here. Reloaded some battle. Intel's finally looking a little bit better. We got a bit of a double bottom. That just formed, topping tail candle, and it's back through that 50. So the second salvo at the 50, I'm about to take a shot in. It's going to be the 50 level or bust for me on Intel. Because I can't see any other obvious round level setting up. And there's really no good trend breaks when it's this steep. So we'll have to be a little bit patient with Intel. But it just did another topping tail, so we're back into it. Battle we're holding on to as long as it doesn't seem to want to do much of anything. USO rebounds, and it doesn't do much. Intel, strong move. And I saw in the chat, yes, I love the fab play for them. It's an important business. But they've already said themselves, even if things work out in terms of meaningful revenue, they're talking a couple of years out. So I had thought it's been a little frothy, and I say that as somebody that owns shares of Intel. But Ball doesn't lie, man. Look at where this is on the daily. This is kind of breaking out on the daily chart, but 50 is a monster level in here. This is the spot to look for. Busy Trader says that USO support is right here, which is true.
USO. Let me have a look.
Well, it is.
Oh, this is where I've been. Yeah, this is where I got stopped out.
It's been holding the same level this entire time, for sure. It's proving to be support, but if it loses the bid, I just think you get more of a movement down in Battle. If USO loses the bid, I think Battle closes the gap and ends the day at $4 because it's already proven to you once that it can go the entire way. I can see it doing it again. That's all. Like, look at this thing. I mean, come on. It was $33 at the height of this. We bounced to $5. If oil goes down, this thing's dying.
To 18s on the TQs. Oh, okay. I was waiting at 25s there to get a little more short on the Qs there, but no good there. All right, we've averaged it back there. We did take a punch out there at O's. It didn't go any higher. Noticing that we have 95.20s there. I'm still going to stop out if we take that out, but we did have less risk on now because we just covered a bunch on this little flush down there. And yeah, man, I mean, USO, I've been on USO today, and that was my breaking spot right here. So I think you might be right about looking at that level. It's where I stopped out at, and then it ripped back up a buck on me there. But we only had 20. I know we might have had less than 20%, but we did mention that. So there it is right there. We'll have to wait to see where we go from here. But I'm going to stay net short. I just, looking where this market is right now, especially, I'm shorting the NASDAQ. So, we've just, obviously this week didn't happen. We just made a little bit of a level there. If you go back, maybe on a 5-minute chart here for this. We do have natural gas coming out very, very soon, so we'll have to see what that does. But you're running again into the 200 period moving average on your 5-minute chart. These levels right there, 580. This was yesterday's sort of starting point, 580 and a quarter or so. So you have about another buck or so to the high side before you get to Yes, here we go, Neil. There it goes, man. It is Google. Nice little move to the downside. Oh, boy, man. We're starting to print a little bit now, guys. Nice move lower there on Google. Oh, yeah. Let's go right now. Nice move lower there on Google. So we finally found one here. We picked it up, and, yeah, Bob's your uncle there. Yes. All right, there it goes, man. Props it up, man. There goes Google to the downside. There goes the futures. We just talked about it, so let's take some profit when it lies there. So we'll take some more out here on these plays as it's more downside right now. It's Google downside, it's the Q's downside, and it's giddy up time. Here we go. Let's see how low can we go. Is that it for the NASDAQ? I do not believe so. We may find this jump off right here at 23,950 or so. But let's cover some more Google down here in the 30s. Again, for a 20-cent risk, we've got 60 cents now. So Google, so far, so good. The big trade, man, a big net trade for me here on Google. So yes, man, very, very proud and happy with that trade as we get to the downside on Google.
Yeah, nice. I actually just tapped out of Intel. I took the 50 pennies on it because I actually thought that oil was going back to the upside. Going back to the downside, which would make the markets go up. And the reason for that is Battle lost the bid. So I made a bad assumption, but it doesn't matter. I'll take the win no matter what. And then we're saying, hey, Battle is weak, so trade something that's trending down. It puts in a lower high and then just continues the trend and is continuing to fill the gap in. So sometimes it's a little bit easier to follow the crowd and just jump into something where everyone's piling in. I still think we can get to 4, but 420. Let's respect the quarters here. We're short in front of the 75, so like the 3/4 mark. It's at the half. We just took it out there. We'll look first. I'm just actually sitting at Larry Bird, which I usually do, and then I'll probably bid down here at Will Clark on the 22 mark. So that's working. Intel, like I said, I took the scalp, but it's probably going to head all the way down into the volume-weighted average price. That's going to bring me back to IBIT, though. Finally, this could be breaking trend. I started with IBIT. I waited and waited. It broke the trend, immediately retook the high when it broke the trend line, and now you're getting a bit of a confirmation here. So see this utter nonsense? If you take that trade, like you just get rinsed out of it. Now you're getting the confirmation that we're on the other side, I think, here. So patience is a key, man. It's one of those like yo-yo type of days, but it just took a little bit of patience, following one trend trade and then waiting for that top on Intel. Took a couple cracks at it, but green is green. And thank you for the super chat, DPK. Let's throw it up there, Andre, if you can. It is simply reversal now, please. Yo-yo is the super chat.
What's
Yo-yo.
up?
It's been a yo-yo type of market. There's no questions asked. So you got to wait for those reversions to come in. And then hopefully you just got to catch one, right? Like you should just be able, if you catch one, then you can be good to go. But if we get back to the bottom, remember, it works both ways. One headline, and you can reverse the other way. Not that we've gotten any headlines today. It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's very, very quiet.
Actually, it's eerily quiet on the earpiece.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything, man. I mean, I'm still paying attention. We do got the Benzinga news service here for you. We normally have a Dara coming in with random stuff, but today we don't really have anything going on. It's already 10:30, so yeah, so far so good on that one. Yeah, not seeing anything here either. This is just financial juice. Whoopsies, I just closed it. That was financial juice. That's not a bad website to watch out, and I got to call that back up here on my history, which, of course, I, for some reason, don't see it. All right, well, anyways, I'm still watching out for Google. I just sort of looked at that trade. I took another bid there at O's. You know, realistically, this 93.50, I'm going to just wait for that now. I do have another bid at 80, in the 80s, and then back down into the 50s. So if we can break through, these little wicks get us into 75. So maybe one more push down here on the market gets us into the 80s. Then we can get that fill, and then we'll get a 50 fill. And then I'll talk to my friend Phil, and we'll wait to see if we get 292.50s down into here. But again, the market's gonna have to go down. Will it go down? I don't know, but I'm sitting here in a beauty short and willing to hold it. So let's see how low we can go right now. We also do have this trade as well, which seems to be a face slapper, a money maker. I was gonna love Ric Flair, by the way. But here we come in to the downside on the TQs. I thought I was bidding 80s, or we were. So there's the fill there. Now on the 80s, man. Yeah, it's been one hell of a ride so far today. Tesla, what a ride back up to the upside. I just got the note that, hey, regardless, my car's full now downstairs. I want to thank TraderTv.live for putting in I
guess you don't really get it down that low.
No. Like this morning, I was into Mississauga yesterday. My daughter and my wife had their gala yesterday for hockey, ending the season. So they had their season-ending gala yesterday. So I drove them into Mississauga there, and they had a great time. So yeah, no, the car was at like 80%, and then it doesn't take that long. It's like maybe it takes like 10% is like an hour.
Well, can we throw that super chat about the IPO?
10:07.
It's kind of a weird one, Andre, or I can't see. There's now a thing in between, so I can't even. Yeah, this one. Oh, yeah, till TMCR, which is Metals Royalty Company, was supposed to be an IPO today, but I'll show you exactly what I'm looking at here. I don't see it as priced. And the expected date says next week. So I wouldn't expect there to be a tap. Like, again, like the expected date says next week, and it's not priced yet per my information, and I can't call it up for a tap. So all that leads me to suggest that maybe it's next week. If you have alternate information, then show it to me. But yeah, we can't call it up, and I wasn't really expecting any IPOs today. But if we had it, I'd let you guys know. But if you have like an article or something you want to show me that says it should be today or that it's been priced, fair enough. And either way, it's not supposed to be that big. Like that's not an IPO that either one of us or I think anybody would be that interested in taking. Obviously, SpaceX is going to be a totally different story. They filed yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was Wednesday. I keep thinking because today's Thursday and it's the end of the week, but they filed yesterday. We should get them at some point this year. Don't know the exact date. We get that question a lot. Nobody knows the exact date we're going to get SpaceX, but believe me, whenever it happens, you know where you're going to want to be because we'll be actually on it live when it opens, regardless of who's on the show. The second SpaceX opens, maybe it's June, maybe it's July. We'll be all over it. It'll be like the biggest event of the year.
Here we go. What's up to HiAppQ right here? Because this is Google. Mm-hmm. So there you go. So GOOG right here is a different symbol, of course. So I just, look at the volume here, 3.6 million for GOOG. Oops, that's Tesla. I was going to say it's not 20 million for Google. That's for sure. 3.6 versus 5.4. I've always traded Google, so thank you for the question there. I don't have any problem right there to tell you guys all about that kind of a trade. And again, thank you so much for that question. It did get, actually, I thought I put 25 break. What is the high there? Yeah, okay. So if we do break the high, I'm going to get out of this. But we've emptied out our clip. I don't even have. So actually, not completely emptied it out. I still have 25% left of this trade. And it looks like it's getting sick with it to the upside right now. Wow, the market blasting.
Just blasted.
I'm not hearing anything. Like we will have. There we go. Now the guy's just saying futures going higher. That's all he's saying. Thanks. Right there. I am going to reload Google, but. I didn't really think about it because it came up so quick. Right now, let's just try a little bit here on that move higher. And then our stop out still remains where it is, man, that 295.25 area. So it looks like we potentially could get stopped out in and around this area right now. So yeah, there goes Google, just upside play there. You see it just elevate, right? And sometimes when stocks get, oops, there we go. So when stocks get, now we're even more short. When stocks get elevated like that, there's huge buys underneath. There's a lot of money on the side. There it goes.
It was so broke
there it goes. Yeah, there's a lot of money on the sidelines, sort of what I was sort of going to get at there, waiting to buy. And it looks like they're buying right now. So there it is. Stopped out on Google. Oh, well, we make money, give it back. That's been the story of the short. Get in and get out, man, if you're into something like that. There goes Google. Nice move. Fed's Logan.
Yeah, we have Fed.
Yeah, they're speaking now. Fed's Logan. I don't know what he's saying exactly, but.
He said basically he's talking about holding rates steady. Well, okay. Tell us something we don't already know, Logan. There's a cooler Logan, and it's a fantastic movie. It doesn't really matter. We were already at 2%, 2.6% chance of a rate hike. We're not going to get anything with rates. At this point, I actually don't think it even matters what happens in the next month with the conflict. Over or not, rates are staying exactly where they are because of the uncertainty. That would be my guess. But the highs just got run. We took the trend break. We left it at the prior high. I actually got a pretty good fill in there. 1 cent of slippage on IBIT. But it's going in the other direction. USO very briefly broke that support level, that 136.5. It's underneath it still, but it went right down to 136 even, which is this level here,
back down.
830. So it's continuing to trend down. That probably means, Battle's going to hold trend. It doesn't come back for a reload, but it just continues to fall. Nothing's really changed. This feels like it's just going to close in the rest of the gap. Here. As long as USO falls, this should close the gap into $4. Can't think of a reason why. And shout out to Army, Kalen, Rico in the chat, Nathaniel. Although Nathaniel, you didn't type $$ when you put in Meta. Shouting at all the runners that are going right now. Meta is blasting, NBIS is blasting. Intel's not blasting. It's at 49 right now.
Yeah, Marvell's 106.
Blasting. And now all of a sudden Intel is shy and only at 49. NVIDIA, high of day and continuing to go higher.
NVIDIA, man,
Amazon with the Global Star. They could be buying Global Star. It's not for sure, but that's the rumor. So GSAT is probably having a good day as well. There's Amazon trying to go green. Hey, GSAT's falling. That's interesting.
They're drafting a protocol right now for the traffic in the Strait of Hormuz right now.
That's
so
huge.
that's going to be good. There goes Google, there goes the market, there goes the TQ. So it looks like right now we are now starting to get excited here back to the upside. I mean, is the war over? I do not know. But what I do know is this market is turning right now on a dime right there back up to the upside on this story about the Strait of Hormuz. I'm just going to go punch long now, not huge. We are going longer now. Let's just wait to see where we can go from here. There it goes, man. We finally learned our lesson. Get long right here and upside. Thanks for everybody warning us to get long, by the way. There it goes. Finally, the TQ's finally starting to go back up to the upside just a little bit. Yeah, wow. This is the market when you're here, right? Look at USO. Whoops. There's that little dip buy opportunity gone for you as we break lower right now. So here we go. We'll give it a breath, man. I mean, now the market's going back up. Let's hope that story is right there, and we're going to stay long on the Qs for now.
Yeah, and I think that as long as that story is right, then I don't have to do anything. I just
reloaded.
I just tried to jump into Boyle to the short side there, and let's just say the quotes were broken for a quick second. I was looking at 15s when I thought I would be getting short, but it was apparently already down at the low of the day. But any bounce we'll try to get. But thankfully, we're already in something which is going to continue to go in this direction because we just broke a fresh low. USO just went down to 132 on all of this. So the flush just absolutely continues. So, it was already good in this trade, and it just continues to get better. Thankfully, the headline went in our direction this time. Now, you're in it, and there just happens to be the first big headline. That is huge news. Huge. That's what you wanted to hear going into the weekend, big time. Well, it looks like I finally got that Boyle fill. So remember, we did just have nat gas as well. I think that's why. Like simultaneously,
Market's coming back.
You had that headline come in right when the nat gas numbers were coming out. It basically broke the quotes for a couple of minutes because it's like you have simultaneously news coming in. So I'm going to play this, grab the short here, but I don't want this getting through the volume weighted average price. And now that we're bouncing, I'm going to take another leg out in battle. I just saw USO bounce $3 in a single candle. Yeah, I'm just going to take another leg out here on that gap. If I can get this at the low while USO just kind of drifted from 132 back to 134.5, like, you kidding me? That was a huge reversal. It hasn't closed the candle yet, but we're just at 132. We're back to 134.5, pressing 135. Huge reversal on USO there. Crazy volatility. See, everything is calm, and then you get one headline, oil goes crazy, and then it changes everything and flips it on its head. Insane. That's why you keep your ear to the ground.
Yeah, you have to. All right, 42 24s or so. I'm trying to stay long right now. So we were able to get out. I mean, get out near the tops there of that most recent move. I mean, we just sort of zoomed out a little bit to have a look at where we were. We almost got back to yesterday's highs right there. So, all right. I mean, that would be good. So if we can get back to there, that'd be great. But we have those outs, man. Like, my best out on this is actually 50s. So we got a decent fill on the upside there. But, that sounds like good news. Is it? Let's wait to see. So we did okay. We did reload it. We're going to go back up to the upside. Let's take a 24 fill 22 fill. And there it goes up again. Let's see. Bear Cave is out about Yelp right now. So let's go have a quick look at Yelp real quickly here. I'm not leaving any reviews. All right. Yes. Can go again, man. This is a good day. Yelp's going higher on that Bear Cave report there. So, all right, man. We're into the NASDAQ now. We're long. So there he is. We just bought that dip at 43. We're getting some more out here. Let's just play the fade. Play the fade down, I guess, the move down there as we're getting better news. The NASDAQ, when we showed up today, was down 2%. It's now flat. Now the ES is now up right now. So there we go, man. Wow, big time movement upside. So huge move right now. Iran Strait is they're trying to work on some protocol to start letting some ships through. So, and
what's crazy about that is we just hit green for a brief second. It was 50-50 on our poll. No won 54 to 46, and then we just had that tick up. It just goes to show how much action from a single headline can come in. That's crazy. And you're right about that. Like, Yelp went up on the Bear Cave short report saying more problems at Yelp. If you're bouncing on a short seller report, yeah, that's bad for the short seller because they want that as exit liquidity, and this stock actually has a breakout profile on it. I have nothing against the short sellers, but sucks to be you when you look at this chart here. If it breaks like 25 half, if it starts making fresh highs, you're in a world of hurt. Back over to, we were just talking about the market, but we haven't really had too much to look at gold and silver. You might have guessed this, but GLD, not green yet, but distinct uptrend and absolutely continuing. You're going to have silver breaking. It's still 3.5 down. It's just SLV is just a function of how far it was to the downside. But look at the spike up as it just got absolutely trashed. The only new thing was, for me, was trying to take Boyle in here. So it's holding under VWAP. I was able to get a reload just underneath the volume weighted average price. As long as we hold this trend down in oil futures and hopefully trend up in the market, I think we're good to go. But we cannot ignore the sheer absurd volatility in USO. USO was just 135 to 132 to 135 to 133 to 135. Like, it is flying on these 3-minute candles. So for now, I'm still reloading Boyle at VWAP because we're going up to this top and dropping, and looks like we're going to be good to go. This is exactly what you wanted to hear going into the weekend. So whoever said it's not a happy Easter, I think that was kind of a tongue-in-cheek super chat.
Was there super chat?
I know. I don't think it was meant to be like sad Easter or sorry. It was like sorry Easter because everything was down.
Yeah.
Right. It was tongue in cheek. Looks like it's going to be a better one.
Yeah,
we get to open our chocolate eggs early.
It'll definitely be a better one, but will it still be a down one? It could potentially be. Yeah, so it's a nice rally upside there. We just got some more out. We did reload it, and we got some more outs in the 40s again right there on that most recent reload. So we'll try it one more time. We did just pop up into 10s. I don't really want to take 10s. I want to get going a little bit more on this name. So we'll wait to see if the market does continue upside a little bit. Now, it's only flat on the day. I am a little nervous because the report is just, again, that they're drafting a... I mean, I don't even see it.
Better than not drafting.
I don't even see it on the...
I only heard it.
Yeah, I only heard the story. So maybe we could find... Where's Brendo at? Maybe we can find that story. But that's what it was. So just drafting a proposal there to open up the straight is what I heard. I'm going to take an opportunity to get... There we go. We get that out at 09 there on the bump back up. I mean, this is what I want to do. We talked about trying to... I'm at 19s. And yes, sir. Holy... Man, this has been a crazy day today, right there. So there goes the futures right there, back up to the upside. So I think it's great for China. I think it's great for everything if that straight can get open back up. So let's go have a look at FXI right now. Yeah, okay, so there's the bump up there for China. I mean, China oil, they need it, right? So it's funny because yesterday President Trump was like, we don't need no oil. You guys go fight for yourself. And he might be right about that. But the global economy is what many of these companies are worried about and what I'm worried about. So we'll have to hope that China can start to get some oil back through there, and that would be nice. I think the overall market would really, really appreciate a nice move like that. Google to 300, it looks like right now. So that was 289 or something at its lows today. Wow. We were short. Look, we were printing on the short. The short was fine until it wasn't. It broke higher. We didn't average back into this at all. We took this 295 short, and look, for good reason, right? I mean, I like that 295 short. It just printed really well for us. We were in a dollar club on this trade, and now it's like $2 the other way, but that's why you have to exit stage left. And here we go, man. Believe in your trades, and here goes the TQs. Let's see if it works, man. Upside right now on the NASDAQ, right back into the 20s. So I'll take a small fill here at 23. We'll take that, and now we'll see how far we can blast higher. Now I'm at 43.45s right now. Hopefully we get that, and then if we do, then giddy up, and we'll see about the highs from there. So nice movement here on the NASDAQ back to the upside on what is apparently a risk-on day after all.
Well, when it's risk on everywhere except for energy, and that's been sort of the trend trade. So the market looks like it's going to close. We have 15 minutes to go. I was going to say we're going to be able to hand you guys over green. It's still not quite there. Well,
it'll get green. It'll get
green. The ES is actually green. It's the NASDAQ, which is back and forth. It's pretty close. Oil, I'm going to continue with this one. It holds under VWAP. We'll just play this to the low of the day. Battle's failure is almost complete. So this one was not much of a battle today because it's just these stocks. Let's look at the others here because I know I've only looked at this. TMDE was the other energy small cap. Why does it always default to blue ocean stock? Sorry, that's just me It's not the defaults to blue ocean. It's just that it's the first thing in the drop down. TMDE, what happens when these gappers on energy news catch a move down in USO? It's been trending, it's been weak under VWAP, and then we get a trend down. Battle, I just felt like has been a little bit more egregious. Why? Look at chart. Chart explains why this one is a little bit weaker. So this one can't be a loser, but USO hasn't made a fresh bottom. I'm just looking for the complete gap fill to the prior high. But if it retakes this little dump zone at 445, which is, here, if I look at a 15-minute chart, it might be able to see like it's right in that prior low and kind of this level here. I'll be trailing out of this one at 445 on BATL, but I'm still looking for it to fall, complete this gap fill to the downside. Still up 8%, so if you bought it last night, you're technically not even a loser, although it has been a dog.
Yeah, I mean, the whole market today has been dumping down for the energy space, that's for sure.
Oh, never.
Yeah, just looking here, I kind of want to short IBIT at this level, but then, like, if I short IBIT, then I'm already long the NASDAQ, so that's not going to work out. But IBIT at 38, I mean, I wrote down 38.25 as a possible sell zone there for IBIT, so we're almost all the way at that level now. But I just, we'll stay long the NASDAQ. Silver I wrote down 66.50 right here for a short on silver, so maybe 66 may print on that one, and we can wait to see. But that 66.20 has been the high there for SLV. We did write down 66.50s, I believe. Yeah, 66.50 area there for SLV. But yeah, shout out to Mr. The guy that was, he was Golden Shorts thong guy there. He said he was going to go long silver. Well, guess what? You dumped your oil and went long silver. The smartest man in the room by far is you, my guy. It's not even close. So good trade on that one, man. Dumping, going long. I mean, you super chatted that exact trade. Long silver. So let's just say you gave it to us at 9 o'clock. It doesn't matter when you did. It's up. So there's long silver. That's up 4%. It was down 7% when you tweeted that at us or when you super chatted it. And oil, obviously, you know, when you mentioned it to us, had to have been up here somewhere. So that's a nice move there for oil as well, back to the downside. So congratulations on that right there. Great call. For you on that trade, and obviously wishing that we had followed that, but we didn't. So that's what that is there. Nice move. Robinhood, Meta's probably on one, right? I mean, a lot of these stocks that have gotten back to the upside now, big tech, we talked about that earlier, and I said, and I was mentioning about Joe mentioning that, it's like you go through the pain of a lot of these names when the market's not working because there's so many people in them. And, you know, they get nervous, they sell off, the ETFs have to sell them off as the NASDAQ goes down. Like there's different sort of levers that are being pulled here. But Meta, you know, nice couple days, man, trying to hold out near these highs, breaking higher than 550. We'll see if we can hold above 550 now for Meta. Damn it, man, we should have taken those shorts in IBIT and in silver. Instead, we wait. Now this is getting a little different.
USO is
bounce. I saw USO bounce there, yeah. So right into there, 42.60 right now for the Qs is an area that I'm going to have to look at. And maybe we stop out if it comes back into there. But I'm still looking to get a little bit longer. I'm going to wait for that price down there in the 60s, see if we get a little bit longer, and then just play off of that. And then really, I'm trying to get out if we break the 50-period moving average. So that's going to be something to look at. There it is right there. There's the headline that we've been looking for, drafting the proposal there. So we'll see what winds up happening there. I mean, it doesn't say anything about letting American ships go through. So, you know,
I mean, right now it's like if you're waving the right flag and going through like what are they calling it? There's like a little safe zone in between one of the islands and the coast that they're letting some ships through. Okay. Which is pretty meaningless because it's such small numbers, but I guess it's not. Man, I guess it's not good enough news because we're watching USO continue to battle. It's battling its way back. So the initial spike down held 132, distinct higher low, and you're looking like you could break. If this breaks back out above the 135, remember the prior resistance at 136. Okay, not that that's going to matter too much if we're going recovery. Yeah, as it's blasting higher, I won't reload Boyle until I see a turnaround, but Boyle is holding underneath VWAP at least. And my trail's in on battle, but this might just be done here. If USO gets all the way to VWAP, this is probably going to be done. I've moved the trail when we made a fresh low into this bar, so I'm just kind of moving the trail a little bit higher. There's only so far that you can let oil futures go before some of these small cappers decided they want to follow them back in to the upside. USO is wild. Volatility is pretty crazy in here. I'd be really surprised if we came all the way back up and then started breaking out through VWAP. I'm anticipating that we make a curl here and there's a reload forming, but until it happens, you don't want to rush into it. And this is exactly the kind of day. It's a 1050 right now. Like, you don't want to start. This is not the time to overtrade, I don't think. Oh, no way it's not. Bovin just said Swarma's going. There's a name we haven't looked at in 24 hours.
Right.
This continues to punish the shorts. I mean, really punish the shorts. They're getting moked on this. If this takes out the high, I thought this one might have been dead. You see these things come to market, and then the IPO, it's like, yeah, they might go for a couple of days, but then reality sets in. It's in the right space, of course, being a drone play, and it really wants to try to break out again. I can't tell you it's valued right. I can't really tell you anything in that regard, but it is a pure momentum play and has really been working. Anybody that's been shorting this has just been finding a way to the early grave. Yeah, good look for it today. I'd just be really careful. This would not be one I'd want to hold over a long weekend because it started out at what was it, $12?
Yep.
Like, what happens if this gaps down over a weekend? That's a scary proposition. It could be at 30 again. But ring the register, anyone ringing the register there, congratulations to you. You won't find many day traders trading it. I promise you no one at Real Trading would be a fan of that stock.
Which one?
Oh, Swarmer.
Well,
what's the real name of it again?
Yeah, Swarmer. I think that's right.
Is it?
Yeah, Swarmer,
Okay.
yeah. Good look there. Yeah, often those are tricky trades, man, especially when there's a short float and then constant halts, right? I mean, right now, today, we don't have too many halts. What's HTCO? Right now, Neil, you got to get ready. There's people asking. I don't have the what's for lunch. It's Neil's going to get that for you guys very soon. HTCO has halted a couple times there right now. Oh man, that's too bad. We almost got into a bigger reload spot. We did put some more on at 63s there, or whatever price I got. I think it was 63, but not enough, man. I was waiting for 40s to get longer, right? To use this 42.25 as our drop zone right there. So we are back into the long at a little bit of a better price right now. Let's see if we can get higher. We just touched out near 43, so let's see if we can put an offer there. All right, Neil, I'm going to hit it, and then you're going to discuss it. Here we go. It's what's for lunch. All right. It's Easter, right? So maybe we're getting turkey, maybe we're getting ham.
We're not getting turkey. I will tell you what the flag is. It's an Israeli flag.
Israeli flag?
Yes. I don't know anything about. I don't really know anything about
neither do I.
So I can't tell you whether this is some kind of customary thing. It is slow roasted garlic and herb chicken leg. So that's just another way of just throw a random flag and give you guys chicken anyways.
Sounds Jewish to me.
That's what it is. Roasted winter vegetables, which is odd because it's a spring, and roasted rosemary potato wedges.
I don't love rosemary.
And chopped salad, which is probably just the regular salad.
I'm down with chopped.
A little bit more diced. So that's what we're dealing with here today. It's like, let's just throw random flag, give you guys chicken. We get chicken every single day, so it doesn't. They're just making it up with the flag thing. I don't think there's any significance to it, but
no. I mean, sometimes there is.
But it's chicken leg. It's not breast. It's not chicken breast. So I'm happy. I prefer.
But yesterday wasn't chicken breast either. Remember, they said chicken breast, and it was cut up pieces of chicken. Might have been initially a chicken breast, but all right, yeah. Thank you there. That's what's for lunch. Sounds good, man. The chicken yesterday was pretty tasty. I'm gonna, I don't. If we're gonna rate yesterday's lunch, I'll give mid-7s. I think it was tasty. The pieces of chicken were. For me, it was bountiful. It was tasty. What was the side? I think it was roasted veggies.
We got but there was these potato.
Oh, I didn't even have the potatoes.
Yeah, so I to me it was like a 6.8 or 6.9.
Yeah, if it had better sides, yeah.
The side was a little bit.
I'm almost all about just grading the main, whatever the protein is,
but
because
that's fair.
The sides tend to be almost the same.
Yeah,
the salads can change. The salads can change. There.
Joke is everything like 5s though. That's it.
What was it? Joe, you got your mic on? What was yesterday's lunch then?
We're 6'3", 6'2". I see. The thing is, you guys didn't like the potatoes. I thought that was the best thing, to be honest.
Okay, but I just didn't even really have them. It's not that I didn't like them.
No, they're too big chunks. I don't want that many carbs. If I'm gonna have extra carbs, let it be vegetables.
Got it.
We're on the salad lunch. If I'm on the salad lunch, I don't want that type of extra carb.
I don't think there is a salad lunch anymore, man. It just means prepared. It's
Yeah,
just it's
that's
the
all.
exact same as what everybody else gets, but it's prepared. I was actually thinking about getting off the prepared. Just get whatever the hell I want myself. Put it on the plate and get going with that. The problem is when I get back from the gym, sometimes it's like 1 o'clock. So you know, Obi's already gone through all that at 1 o'clock. You know, and there's nothing left at that point. I just say that because Obi is in the building right beside us. There's Obi. Got to put some smiles. Yeah, tracksuit Obi. We got it or sweatsuit.
I like it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because yesterday he said his favorite Drake song was Pop Star. So there you go. Now today he's a track star. Okay, nice move up there for the TQs. Let's go, man. It's a face slap right there as we did buy the dip on the 25 period. But you can see we are starting to get upside now. Isn't it so easy when you finally play with the trend? So hallelujah, man. I mean, what can we do, man? When you're short, all you can really do is stop out. So that's what we did. We were actually pretty good. Like there's short the Qs, there's short the Qs, there's the stop out at the high. There's the short, there's us getting out. Here's me building into the short. At that point, must have been against something, 42.50. There's our last fill, there's our out at 60. I guess it looks like we punched out at 68. So a little bit of slippage there, obviously. And then the market just rips up and then we just switch. Long, boom. So, you know, all is well over there on the TQs, but would like a much bigger move higher if we could have that now. But yeah, we were definitely paying attention to the news. This just happened real quick, man. And we were, you know, obviously look at USO. There was people in the chat that were talking about this level, and I had stopped out of this at 10.10. So, you know, like that was almost an hour ago. And I thought sort of there that if this broke, we didn't want to be in, and it did sort of sacrifice, or we sacrificed about $1 as it did go back up to the upside, and then finally once it broke. I mean, how do you predict when it's going to break, right? All you have to really do is look at this level, and if it does break, you need to make a decision as a trader. Which way do we go? Do we wait and see, hey, is this a support right there, or is it more of a downside play? And then we had the news give us the answer to that, and then there's the downside. So easy to say, like, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but when you're stuck in a trade, all you can really have is stop orders. Some of you say you trade without stop orders. Crazy. All right, here's more outs, man. Let's go, man. This is a good trade. We'll go props up on this one as the NASDAQ keeps on going higher. My next stop, hands off, 43.45. We'll see if we can get that. That's near the high. And then we say when moon. Hopefully we come back and we have a 44 handle on the TQs, a minute and a half till the midday show.
Yeah, exactly. And market up, hopefully energy down. I think that's what everybody is going to be rooting for sure. Oh, you know what we didn't check? I didn't check out, that's not a bad sign. The defense names were actually strong this morning, and they're not pulling back in here. Like Lockheed, it was Raytheon, RTX was also pretty strong. That's pulled back and given a little bit. And then remember, we had Tesla on any other day. On any other day, we probably would be leading with Tesla. Tesla is the big story today with the miss on deliveries and down, 3.5%. Unfortunately, that'd be the reason you would think that we're not participating in the move here with Tesla, down 3.5%. It would be nice if it could get going as well. Just doesn't seem to have the juice. But that's just how it plays out. Not everything can go up all of the time. And before we get out of here, I have to check. I'm contractually obligated to see if SoFi is doing something positive, and SoFi has gone green. Aha, what's up now? One of the biggest dogs is looking not as crap as it has been for the last couple of months. Pretty happy about that. But I just want to see oil continue to go down. Going to hold on to energy names short as long as USO continues this downtrend, but it's now given us a reason to smile. So if it holds on to the downtrend that we set up, great. I think once it presses lower and proves this trend has been held, there should be some reload opportunities. But we're right at the crest of it breaking back out. So you got to watch out here. You want this downtrend to continue so that market goes up and you can hold your oil futures names or just energy names to the downside. You'd be trading Oxy for all I know. That's probably a dog. So we're going to try to eat some chicken because we eat every single day.
Grilled herbed chicken.
Grilled herb chicken. We'll see how the potatoes are. I think it'd be pretty good. We'll throw you over to Leisure Suit Obi and Joey Options. We'll be back at 2.